Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Geek First podcast. I am the ultimate Travis Snell.
I cannot go that way, Dylan Muss.
And I am your friendly neighborhood caster, Kirkland Patzer.
Ew.
I hate that you didn't know what you're going to do, but that just works because it's Marvel, you know?
Yeah, I decided to switch it up.
So this is a special episode. This is not, I guess, a numbered episode. You know, this is a spin-off because if you think about... or actually, I should start that over. If you, I was saying,
I should start that over.
I was saying something else. There's only few things. Every podcast, every show has like a niche, right? And they have something they have a claim to. And I've always said this podcast has a claim to two things. One, that's Hannibal. Have we ever done a retrospective? No, but we just talked about it so much.
It's been a while since a hashtag Save Hannibal.
Hashtag Save Hannibal.
It's been a few months.
And two, since the podcast started, we have always been talking, when are we going to get another Marvel Ultimate Alliance? We've been talking about Marvel Ultimate Alliance, our 24-hour charity streams. We streamed those games 1 and 2. We've played them many, many times. Mm-hmm. So this is very exciting. So what we're going to do is a preview cast today. We're going to get into rosters, potential DLC, costumes, features. Before we get into that, a few things to shout out. New X-Men Retro just dropped this week. Kirkland, myself, and
Very
Kyle,
nice.
who is now departed
Down
off to
under.
Australia. Yeah,
He's probably on a 38-hour plane right now, actually, as we speak.
No, I think he's there.
No, he's there now. Yeah. We'll show it on the Dark Phoenix
he
review.
didn't
but
update
He
you?
didn't even
Awkward.
say bye. He just left. He didn't care about me.
The old Irish
We've
goodbye.
only bonded over 4 seasons of Spider-Man Retro. It's not enough for him, apparently.
Yeah, we'll say an RIP on Dark Phoenix, but he'll be gone until probably January-ish, so you won't be seeing him for a while. And another shout I got to do is a big congratulations to Jessica, one of our members. She had a healthy baby boy. So she is also going to be gone for probably a little while. I imagine maybe she'll be back for the 4-year anniversary cast, but other than that, I think she's going to have her hands full. So congratulations, happy you're all happy and healthy. We have not yet met the little guy yet, but we will at some point here. So. Yeah.
Ideally. Yeah.
So that explains.
Hopefully he'll be a guest on this podcast someday.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Gwen and him.
Gwen,
yeah.
We're gonna have the young geek first.
the before
new-
9
the new
podcast, not after.
Yeah. So if you're wondering where some people might be,
Nap time.
if you're wondering some people might be missing, you know, Jessica's doing big life things, and Kyle's just in.
He's just being lazy.
That's a big life thing, I'd say.
He's in tailspin mode, so he, you know. And the other thing is, next week got Aladdin, Brightburn. The week after that, Godzilla. The week after that, Dark Phoenix.
My God.
Now, Dylan and I are probably gonna be doing Black Mirror season 5. That's
Never
dropping,
ends.
and then our E3 plans. I'm gonna start pimping those out now because it's only 3 weeks away. We're doing a predictions cast.
3 weeks.
Yeah, we're doing a predictions
That's
cast
no
this
way.
week.
I don't believe you.
We will be doing coverage for the Sunday and Monday, which is, you know those conferences. I'm not going to list them all. And then Nintendo will figure out something. Maybe it'll be the Tuesday night. Maybe it'll be later on that week. We usually can't take off 2 days of work, all of us. But Monday is UB and Square Enix. And then Saturday is Xbox and Bethesda. So and there's other stuff and news always popping. So we'll be doing watch-alongs. We'll be doing casts right after, as always. So if you like E3, if you like our madness, that's what we are here for, and I cannot wait for E3 because that's why we started this podcast. So
It's going to be good.
and I'm hoping it's a good year. You know, it could be a wild year. No Sony, no EA, but let's.
Well,
see
later
what
this
happens.
week we're to do our predictions on that,
Yep.
so that we'll do a full breakdown of what we can expect.
Anything else to pimp up before we get into this?
Let's get into it.
I'm all pimped up.
I'm great. Taylor's like, oh, Taylor's in the stupid chat right now. He's like, oh, I can't make it. Same thing in canceling E3 predictions. Oh, I can't make it, but I'm getting Snapchats of his cat. I'm seeing him in the live chat.
Ooh.
You're such a phony. Phony San Jose Sharks fan as well.
Yes. Yeah, good call out on him.
Oh, man. We'll get into that into after 9.
Oh,
The other thing is, if you like what we do, just go subscribe, rate, review. Get us to 200 written reviews on iTunes. That'll help us hit our next milestone. But what I'm happy to hit right now is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. It is happening July 19th. We cannot officially announce because we're working out some details, but there is a very, very high % chance we are going to be doing a big stream for that game.
Big.
Yeah, so we'll probably
We're
announce
talking
it.
Geek first big.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So we'll probably announce it. Stay tuned E3 weekend. That can do the synergy of that because we got to confirm everybody, but we got a big plan for that date. Where should we start right now for Marvel Alliance 3? Obviously, we're excited, but do we want to start with something specifically? Where do we want to go? Because there's a lot to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about. Well, I don't know. I think we could do a little history lesson for those who either haven't played the other games or maybe have only played it just a tiny bit. But, I mean, this is a big roster already that they have announced in the game, and that is the most important thing, is the roster. But it's already at like 30 characters. The other games did not start with 30 characters, but I don't know. We could go through the original rosters.
We can't say they didn't start. We don't know if we were there. Well, actually, did you ever count them 1 and 2? How high did they get?
Like at the very end, you mean,
Yeah.
or at release? Well, yeah. If you count if you count like DLC and remaster editions, I think that number does get over 30.
Mm-hmm.
But the base game for both of them, for 1 and 2, is like 20, 22, something like that. So pretty small.
And that's not
relative.
necessarily like just unlocked at the beginning. Like you can unlock them throughout the game.
Yeah, that would be like
but
full
that's
unlocks.
not
yeah.
included like DLC and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Let's start there. I can go through the first game's roster,
Yeah,
which
sure.
I think we've played this one more than the second one as a podcast.
we have.
I
yes.
don't think I've ever played the second one. So and we've played Ultimate Alliance a few times. So every time it's been the
Mhm.
first one.
Because we've been trying to finish it, and we still have never finished it, but we will one day.
One day.
Yeah, as a group.
All right, I'll break it down here. The game from the first roster, you got Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Deadpool, Miss Marvel, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and The Thing, Storm, Wolverine, Iceman, Blade, Daredevil, Elektra, Luke Cage, Ghost Rider, Nick Fury, and Silver Surfer. So that's that's just the base roster.
Mhm.
We unlock everyone, and then there was some console exclusives. So in the version we've played, it was Colossus and Moon Knight are the two characters we've played with. Other versions had Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Hawkeye, and Ronin. Ronin actually looked
Ronin.
not Ronin like from Guardians, but I think just some other Ronin. He's like
Okay.
a ninja
That's-
sort of dude with
that's
like
Hawkeye's Ronin,
green
isn't
powers. I guess so.
Because he becomes
Oh, yeah.
Ronin, so I wonder. It's strange because I wonder what consoles they were for. Because for the PS4, they did the remasters that they put
Yeah,
out, and
yeah.
I had Black Widow wasn't on there or Captain.
No,
Marvel.
I know. It was just Colossus and Moon Knight on whatever version we've played. But I watched some gameplay of Ronin. He actually looked really fun. Like, it was a cool looking moveset. And it was, I don't know, it was not high graphic fidelity. I think it might have been like a handheld console or something.
Okay.
And then, yeah, there actually was some Game Boy exclusives for like Vision, Jean Grey, and Namor. I can't confirm if that's true. Like, that's what it said on the wiki, but I couldn't find any videos of those. But that's pretty cool because those characters are not in any of, like,
No.
neither of the games at
No,
any
yeah.
point. So, and then, yeah, the remaster editions included Cyclops, Hulk, believe it or not, who wasn't in the original game somehow, Nightcrawler, Doctor Doom, Magneto, Sabretooth, and Venom.
Doom. Oof,
Yeah.
so good.
So overall, just a really solid roster, even in like today's landscape.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
It's aged pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you look at those characters like they're not even a part of
Yeah.
MCU.
And even like Iron Man, and there's a War Machine costume for Iron Man and a Captain Marvel costume for Miss Marvel. So you even get a couple
Yeah.
more that you can kind of flavor
So,
characters.
I saw that list that you sent. 'Cause, that's what you said, Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. So what's the difference between those two?
So now, because Captain Marvel originally started as Miss Marvel,
Is that
and-
like Miss Marvel that we learned about
Yeah,
in the movie Captain Marvel?
But that's still Carol Danvers. That's still
Oh,
like Miss
okay.
Marvel was that, and then they rebranded her as Captain Marvel, and then someone took the title of Miss Marvel. Her name is Kamala Khan. She's a newer character. She's been around not that long. I'd say just over 5 years. She was kind of like a fangirl. Her powers are almost similar to a Reed Richards. She can stretch and whatnot and be very powerful. She can grow bigger, not as much as Ant-Man, but like I said, similar to Reed Richards, where she could get like a huge fist and
Yeah.
whatnot. Her and Carol, good friends. So yeah, now they're different characters, Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
Mhm.
for clarifying.
Yeah.
I think that first game's roster is like, there isn't really anything too standard. I think the biggest thing is that Hulk wasn't in the base game,
That is-
which seems pretty weird.
It's funny because when you mention that, it like kind of baffles me that he wasn't in there because
Mhm.
you feel like he's just kind of a core like
Yeah.
Avenger, right?
He's
That would
just
be
like
in
a
there.
known character outside of Marvel, even. Right?
And it's not like they couldn't do. The Thing was in there, right? So it's
Yeah.
not like they couldn't do a big character. It wasn't a game.
Mhm.
It wasn't. They weren't stuck. They couldn't. Oh, we got to stick to little people.
Well,
you know?
especially a game like that, they have like different class of characters,
Mhm.
right? Like you have your heavies. I don't know if they actually call them heavies,
Sure,
but like
we can call them heavies.
Yeah, exactly. Like throw in like your heavy characters, your damage dealer, your crowd control characters. So it's kind of funny that they would limit themselves by not throwing Hulk in there. Especially like everybody knows Hulk.
Mhm.
I feel like more people know Hulk than the Thing.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
I think
Yeah, I think actually maybe it's pretty close.
I
Like
think
maybe
back
in
then-
2019.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think back then
Okay.
it was pretty close. Now the thing is, he's not that level
It's not
anymore.
clobbering time anymore.
Yeah, it's not clobbering time anymore. But I think back then they were pretty on equal footing. They both had crappy movies out. So yeah.
Yeah, there isn't really any villains either in the base cast, but then like the remaster added like 4, so
Mhm.
that kind of balances that
Yeah.
out as well.
Give us the sequel roster.
Okay, sounds good. Captain America, Hulk in this time, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor.
Hulk you did have to unlock though. He wasn't right away yet, and he was
really?
very near the end. Him and Thor took a long time to
so
unlock.
weird.
Poor
It was-
Hulk.
well, because the second one was about the Civil War storyline, and they kept
Oh.
the characters that weren't involved in it at the very end.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah, that was their reasoning.
Okay, where was I? Spider-Man, Thor, Deadpool, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Gambit, Green Goblin, Human Torch, Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic Thing, Storm, Wolverine, Iceman, Jean Grey, Venom, Songbird, Penance,
Dylan's
and
favorite.
Nanite Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So three kind of oddballs right at the end. Songbird, I should say, is my favorite character in that game. I just love her moveset for some reason, even though I have no idea who the character is.
yeah.
It's sad that she'll never see the light of day, but she was a really fun character.
Yeah, some of those random characters were in there just because they were tied to the Civil War storyline. Penance, he was a guy that's why he looks that way. He got all burned up, and that's why he became Penance. Songbird was a part of the Thunderbolts, and then Nanonite.
Thunderbolts. So you're saying that with this recent announcement of a Thunderbolts movie, that the Songbird could make her appearance?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Let's try, Dylan.
I don't know if she's technically a mutant or not. So maybe they own her now. But I think
She kind of looks like a mutant.
I think you still got a little bit a ways away before you get Songbird on the big screen there, Dylan. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so. So that's the base game of 22, and then there was once again some exclusives, including Blade, Cyclops, Psylocke, Sentry, She-Hulk, and Iron Fist. I'm not sure what all like consoles those guys were.
Yeah, it's weird because
They're split. There's like one or two per
a
console.
lot of those, I think the ones that didn't end up on the remasters were handhelds because I got Iron Fist on the PS4 remastering,
Right.
but Blade, She-Hulk wasn't on there.
Psylocke was pretty
Psylocke was
cool.
on
She
there,
would have been
yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, she is on the remaster.
Is she? Okay.
For the PS4. Yeah, she's cool, but I think they didn't balance her well enough. I don't think. I think.
As in she's bad or
Yeah,
good?
I don't think she's all, but I remember she dies quite easily. So
low health.
I don't think she was the
That's
greatest.
how I judge my characters. How easily I die playing them.
Yeah.
Interesting one that you mentioned though is Green Goblin. I didn't know he was in any of those games.
Yeah,
Is he on a glider?
Well, when you do his double jump, he
Oh,
goes on
okay.
the glider. It's awesome. And then also
Pumpkin bombs and stuff.
his second costume was Hobgoblin.
Oh,
God.
damn.
I
Give it to
need
me.
that.
Yeah, Nanonite Fury fucking sucked. He he was awful.
How was Gambit in this game?
I will save that for when we get to our top 10 roster picks.
Okay.
He is
Ooh,
one of my.
I wonder why.
He's one of my all-time favorites. The way he played, he is just.
He's a cool guy.
I think he might be the best projectile player, and I'll wait till that. But his projectiles with those cards are nuts.
Nice.
Interesting, because
Yeah.
when I think of like a top projectile person, I think of like Iron Man from the first
Oh, he's
game.
he's up there,
Yeah.
but it's something so satisfying to throw those cards. They give you great control of those cards, which is weird.
Damn.
So
Heart of
And-
cards, man.
And then there was a DLC pack as well that added mostly villains. We got Juggernaut, Carnage, Magneto, Cable,
Carnage.
and Black Panther.
Carnage,
The one
yeah.
non-villain that just kind of gets added
Wait,
in.
sorry,
Black
who's that?
Panther.
Oh, Black Panther.
yeah, and he wasn't the greatest in that game. He played much better in the first one than he did the second one. So that's the thing with it's so funny that I feel this franchise is one of the weirdest, most loose franchises between the sequels because 2 and 1, other than the idea of it's a roster, a team, it's very different. The costumes, the power-ups, how you play, even graphically. And I'm that's my biggest question is what our Ultimate Alliance 3 is going to be more like. Is it going to be more like 1 or 2? And I hope it's like a marriage of them because 1 I always loved more because you got more costume and the features. And I love that every character, you always had about 8 to 9 powers. You could only pick 4, but you had a wide variation. Where 2, I think it played better and was much smoother. We've talked about on
Yeah,
live
yeah.
streams, but
Less clunky.
you're only limited sometimes to 3 or 4 powers, and not everyone even got a second costume sometimes.
Oh,
So it
yeah,
was only
that's-
one costume, and I feel there was less kind of the RPG elements are very light in this game, but there was even less of them in 2. It was just power up and move. Where this was, you could get something to boost your team. You could do this. Where in 2, you could have like 3 badges on your team, and that was it. I felt that it really limited the options there, but it was still a very fun game.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for the third game, and I wasn't too sold on the graphics. Like the first time I saw it, just looked a little too cartoony.
Yeah.
Like the latest trailer that they show, I've grown to like it more.
It looks-
I think
yeah.
you mentioned that
I think
too.
they updated the res or re-rendered
Yeah,
it or new textures or something.
It just looks so much better. And then the
Much
other
cleaner.
big thing that I was worried about is just like the costumes, because going from the first one to the second one, I've heard that it just has way less costumes. And then going into a third one,
I've looked, and this,
I'm worried.
I know we're a little, but I guess we're kind of doing overall the game. So what I was going to say is I'm still worried that we will get no costumes, because the other thing that I doubled down to me today is you have characters like Spider-Gwen, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and Miles Morales. They don't have many other additional costumes.
Yeah.
Spider-Gwen, I could have seen you have Spider-Man in the game, and then his costume is Miles Morales. But the fact that we have a lot of characters that are very new that aren't going through, you have people that have been around since the 60s. These people are all 2000s, 2010s. They don't have many new costumes. So I am worried that
there's just a lot more characters at launch. Like, it is a different team working on the game as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to compare, and it's just been like 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if we said that on cast, but it's been 10 years, so it's been a long time. So it's hard to say like where their focus really was.
And I do, even though we'll talk about X-Men, which is a strange thing, I do think that they want the MCU aesthetic to stick. So that's another reason why I worry we might not get costumes. So I'm hoping. I really want it, because in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1, they made some deep cuts. You think about what Doctor Strange had. You think about Doom, and
they were fun too, because they all had like different attributes, right?
Oh
so
they
had unique stats as well.
And that's the thing. That's why I always wanted a combination of 1 and 2. I want the playability of 2, but I want those elements of 1, because you felt you could customize this character a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Even some
right?
of the worst costumes.
You like update your characters, especially as you're saying in the first game, where you can have like so many different skills that you can choose from. You combine that with the like costume ability, and you can really customize your character.
Oh
to be how you want them to be.
And then if they don't have different costumes with like different like presets of your skills, whatever it would be, I just feel like I would always be like switching characters, because it would just get stale playing the same one over and over. Even if you love that character, I don't know. That was one thing I was worried about. Yeah.
So what roster are you going to give next? Our dream one or the current one?
I'll give our dream roster. So yeah, this was probably a couple of years ago now.
I think it was
at
almost
least a year and a half.
I think it was long. So? I think it might have been just after our first year podcast. I think it was pretty early on, to be honest, because
sometimes I forget how long we've been doing this.
Coming on 4 years.
It's like 3 years. We haven't been doing this for 3 years. You're crazy.
I will preference it with saying it's our dream roster, but we did put it in, because I listed the cast again. We were talking about likelihood as well. We didn't just go, this person. Because at that point, we didn't include any X-Men or Fantastic Four deals about the read off, because that was 4 years ago when that wasn't even a thought. So we were
mostly just aiming for MCU characters.
Yeah, it was like our dream MCU roster, because I thought that's the way it was going to go. It's going to be Marvel Alliance 3, but just MCU, and now this is a weird combination of the two.
That is a pretty funny cast. Like, I don't know, it might be worth going back and listen to.
I want to
It wasn't a solo episode. It was tacked onto another episode. It's like the last half of the episode, so maybe we can link that with a timestamp or something to make it easier. But it is pretty fun to listen to, because like at the time, Kirkland hadn't seen Guardians 1.
That's so
Guardians
weird.
1, and I forgot what Thanos' name was. Like, who's that guy that they teased at Avengers?
Big purple
it's just
booty
a
daddy.
totally different time. But yeah, here we aimed for 30, because that's kind of like these other games. Their base roster is around 22, but with additions, they were around 30. So that's kind of what we aimed for. We did Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk, Hawkeye, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Ant-Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Winter Soldier, Vision, Doctor Strange, Venom, Daredevil, Elektra, Luke Cage, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Loki, Thanos, Moon Knight. I guess we just threw that one in there.
That was just hype. We wanted that. But
Peter Quill, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot. Shoutouts to myself for calling them they'd be a combined character.
Dylan told you so.
And then Ghost Rider, and then our final pick, which took like a few minutes for us to deliberate on, was Falcon, which is kind of funny in our current world where we've seen Endgame and stuff. It's like, of course Falcon would be a default pick, but we really had to consider it back then.
I do want to shout out two things, because I re-listened to that cast today. One, I told you Nick Fury was going to be in this game. I said we got to include him.
Yeah, that's a Travis
because he's been in 1 and 2, and I just felt they didn't include him. And the other one, we didn't do it because we thought she was so far off. But I did say I bet Spider-Gwen will be in it just because she's so popular in the comics. We didn't include her because we thought, she's not an MCU movie. That might be a well. But I said I could see it if it's not an MCU related game. It could be that. Just because I remember even when we recorded that cast, that character was just popping off of popularity. People were loving her. It's a cool concept. So I'm excited to talk about that, because I'm surprised that her, Peter, and Miles are in the game. Yeah. But so far what we've seen in gameplay, it looks like they play very differently. So that has me super excited.
It's kind of interesting too, because I mean, I don't know how long this game has been in development, but typically games like this, I would think that, you know, like the very pre-production stage of the game is when they decide on like the roster and stuff. I mean, at least that's how it works for Smash, and I'm sure most fighting games. But yeah, I wonder like when, you know, they picked the roster for this game, because it was likely before Spider-Verse had come out.
Oh yeah.
And before, they knew it was going to be a massive success. Now, whether or not they've kind of made those characters since then, or they always had the idea to do both of them, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I guess the seeds have been there. Like Miles Morales as well is a big character in the Spider-Man game. So he's kind of, him and Gwen, I guess, have been popular just Spider-Man characters. Yeah. So perhaps they picked them from the beginning. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm thinking, because what are we in 2019? I'm thinking maybe 2016-ish time, because if we look at what this game's called, it's Marvel Alliance 3: The Black Order. It's pretty much looks like it's going to be their version of Infinity War or Endgame. Yeah. So I think they picked it right before that. So that's my idea, is kind of maybe 2016-ish, because they were going with, okay, you got Thanos coming up, he's going to be a big character, let's put him in the movie. And Ultron's also a villain in this game. He was just an Avengers movie, so that was in 2015. So to me, that's why
I just thought of this too, but since it's a Switch exclusive, I mean, Switch has been around for what, like, is it a year and a half, 2 years at this point? Or is it 2.5 years? How long is the Switch?
I don't think it's been 2.5. I think it's been less.
So obviously they can be making the game before the console is officially out and all that. But I don't know. I'm curious to know when this game kind of started.
Yeah.
So I'll hop into the currently announced roster for Ultimate Alliance 3, which is already at 30 characters. So that's pretty massive. But yeah, I'll go through it. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Hulk, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, Wasp, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Falcon, Nick Fury, Black Panther, Star-Lord, Drax, Groot and Rocket, Gamora. For the TV characters, you got Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Iron Fist. For X-Men, you got Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Storm, and Deadpool. You got Venom in there. And Crystal, and then Venom. Lockjaw, who I thought was a confirmed character, but
but he's not playable.
Yeah.
I've seen now that Game Informer video, and somewhere else also. They said he is. Remember in the first two games where you had the shield point, he is that now, where you go find Lockjaw.
Teleport.
Yeah,
and I kind of have a feeling that he might still be a playable character.
I don't think so. He's a dog, man. I don't think they're gonna put a dog in there with a bunch of people. I really don't think
make it work. It's a cartoony enough game.
If it was Lego, sure, but I don't think so. I think they're gonna keep him out of there. I really do. Maybe nanotech Lockjaw like Nick Fury.
Yeah. So I guess I think it's 30. Yeah, it's 30 without Lockjaw.
Yes.
Who it seems to be not playable anymore.
So I have some stats here. So for our dream roster, we got 20 out of the 30. So not too bad. I wanted to go down quickly the ones that aren't in the game yet and see if we have any ideas. So the first one we guess, so these are ones that we guessed, the 10 that aren't in it so far. Quicksilver. I don't think he's going to be in this game. We were I listened to it. We were like, oh, if Scarlet Witch is in the game, Quicksilver has to be. I feel like they've moved past that. But there's always a chance. But I feel they just didn't know how to handle very speedster character.
Yeah. It's never been done in the other games, right?
No. The only game I'd say it's been something similar is the Lego games with Flash and Quicksilver. They've done a really good job of making you stay on a screen, but that also is that option where you can go into split screen. Well, there still looks like they're keeping you're on one screen. So I think we're safe to say that Quicksilver's probably a no-go.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
It's just hard for me to picture what his moveset would be.
Yeah. And plus, he was kind of in like one movie and then kind of disappeared. So I mean, even though the X-Men Quicksilver is like really big and people love that character, that's, I don't know, not really where this. I don't know. I'm really curious, just the process for them picking the rosters. It's really interesting. I'd love to see like an interview with the devs after the game is out and hear how they chose what they did and what they didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, Ant-Man, I feel like he's just such a massive character. Obviously, there is a lot of MCU influence on this, and he has 2 movies that are titled after him. Wasp is in there, who I definitely has, I think maybe more, it's like, I think it'd be easier to make a moveset for her, but you could still do one for Ant-Man. I think he's got to be in there.
I think he's got to be in there.
I just don't. I'm torn because you got Spider-Man and Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. So at first I was going to say, oh, you don't want Wasp and Ant-Man to feel too similar. So that's not a thing because they have that already. And then I guess I just want to know the roster size. For me, it's just strange that they haven't announced them yet. If I had to put a gun to my head, I would say
here's why. Because at the Nintendo Direct, before at E3, they're going to want some big reveal, and they're probably going to have, I'm thinking, 2 characters in there that are, big meaty characters that they can show off.
Giant, perhaps.
Giant. Ew.
Hey.
And plus,
So that's actually a really good prediction. So I think you're right. I think Wasp in there. I really hope, because it looks like they also have the because they were saying that in the gameplay video of you got to hit them at the same time, which I love. I think they've taken away. Remember when we played and Taylor would hit his finisher and make us all pop up?
Oh, yeah.
Apparently it sounds like now you actually have to sync and do it at the same time or something like that. So that's great.
That's
So
awesome.
Taylor won't screw us over. But I'm going to predict right now his finisher, he's going to... No other moves you'll be able to, but I think his finisher, he'll go into Giant Man and swap
like
people.
that, like Mario Strikers, like Mario and Luigi thing.
Yeah, that he'll get big, he'll take out some people, and that'll be about it.
I could see him, like, even some of his moves being like they kind of replace his character model with just like a giant foot that crashes down quickly.
Yeah,
I could see that being like
Yeah,
a move as well. But I think that's
that'd be an easy way to do
definitely got to be his ultimate, is him
Yeah, I think
turning
so.
into
Giant Man.
Giant Man. Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know how they're gonna fit that on camera. That might be kind of tricky. Maybe he just falls over, just destroys everyone.
they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Winter Soldier. We did that because he had the
God.
hype of just movies.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be there. I think we
I don't
got
think
our
he's
fill-
like unique enough.
No, I think we got our
Yeah.
fill of. If Nick Fury wasn't there, I'd say yes, but we got our fill already of normal people, because I don't really
Yeah.
play other than Hawkeye, and he has a bow. That's why I play with him. I don't really play as the normies. I am excited to see how Black Widow plays, because it's their first time being in
She looks
a
really fun.
console game. So
Yeah, I feel like Deadpool could be considered a normie though.
True.
Like his move sets, he's basically just using guns. I think he uses swords a little
I
bit.
think Deadpool.
but-
I mean, my perspective of what's his name, Winter Soldier, is purely based on the movies. I don't know what he's like in the comics, but he's also kind of just like a bland character, whereas Deadpool's like really fun
Yeah.
and has
No,
like, the
yeah.
quips and stuff, which I think helps. But I don't
Yeah.
know.
I agree though. I don't think he'd be in it.
no, I don't.
He's
think
got
so.
he's got a metal arm, so that's
Yeah.
unique.
Vision.
I hope he's in there. I think villain. Oh my god, I can't speak right now. I think Vision would make a very unique move set, and yeah, I just really hope he's in there. I think he's a big enough character too. Like obviously he's kind of somewhat gone now, but he's had enough arc in the movies. I think there's enough interest there, and they can kind of get unique with it because he hasn't been in the other games. He was maybe one in like some random Game Boy exclusive
I
that I
think
could
that's what it
find.
is, yeah, but we've never played. And I just love the aesthetic of them.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
thing I
and-
did hear in the gameplay, though, that flying will take away some of your mana, which I'm not a fan of.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, as a Doctor Strange player, that hurts my soul.
the web slinging doesn't, but flying does. And that's really annoying because I like just hovering all the time, especially as
Yeah.
Iron Man. So to me, it's a nitpick, but that's a little nitpick on. Maybe I'll see how maybe it goes down really slowly, but if it goes down quite a bit fast, that's a nitpick for me because I just don't think that's something you needed to take away.
I don't think they would do it, but another or a preferred method that I would like, as opposed to just constantly draining, is just like when you use it, it'll like go down a chunk, but it won't go down anymore. So it's like you can't just.
That's
you
a
can
good
use
call.
It for that amount of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's like that, and it's not just depleting your bar, because that's just, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Yeah, but
We'll see how mana works. Yeah.
going back to Vision, I would totally like to see him in there. I agree with Travis, just like the aesthetic of him, he looks really cool.
Mhm.
I agree with Dylan, shouting out his skill set. I feel like it would just be really
Yeah.
unique and interesting. And also, if they have Scarlet Witch in there, I feel like they should throw in
Yeah.
that.
Plus, he makes sense for the story, which they're clearly doing. Thanos going to get all the stones, so it
Mhm,
makes sense for Vision to have it, and then he can.
Yeah.
Boom. There's one stone.
Yeah,
story wise,
and
Well, we don't know in the story if he'll have the stones, though, right?
we don't. But
Yeah, we don't know how
I'm just saying it's
close.
like that's an easy one right
Yeah.
there.
especially like you get like if I don't know, I could just picture some like dialogue between him and
Mhm.
some of the other Avengers.
And the stakes, you lose a playable character. Oh,
Oof.
that would suck.
You lose those
boy.
stones.
You'd feel that
You
as
lose
a
the
player.
stones.
He would just be grayed out on the character select screen.
Just
It
permanently.
has
forever. Once that story moment happens, it's removed from your game. You have to pay $2.99 to get him back.
EA no.
EA stuff.
Electra.
This one's tricky. This one's very tricky.
We just mentioned normies.
I'm gonna say
Yeah, but
it's
she's-
a full-on
she's
no.
sweet.
I'm gonna say it's a full-on no. I'm pretty surprised that even
You don't think
the-
Winter Soldier's sweet? You just said Elektra's sweet.
I don't really like Winter Soldier.
Really?
I've been bummed on him. The last two movies he's done jack shit. I don't care about this character anymore.
Yeah, I pick Electra every day. It's
Yeah?
just katanas.
Yeah.
What are those two? What are those?
I don't think I would.
Really?
I think I
Like
used to.
Winter
Throwing
Soldier just
ninjas.
uses like assault rifles. Like
He's got a metal
she's
arm.
at least more
He's
interesting.
got a metal arm.
Okay,
Have you seen his mask
you're
on
very
Winter
right.
Soldier?
You're very
He's
right.
got a cool mask.
Okay, he does.
Does Elektra have a cool mask?
She has a cool head bandana.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just still surprised Defenders are in this. I'm happy Daredevil's in there.
Yeah, Daredevil doesn't surprise me.
No.
It just surprised me just because I just felt the way they're going very cosmic and very MCU. That's not really Daredevil. So I'll say she's easily not in this. So because we haven't even heard Jessica Jones is in this and she's in the Defenders TV show. So I'm gonna say that she's not in this.
I have to agree with you though. It hurts.
I'm gonna agree, and it does not hurt.
Actually, I don't remember if it was I think it was the second game. Because here's the thing. To give you some backstory, me playing this game, the first game I only played Doctor Strange. Like, that's it. I've tried a couple of the characters for maybe 10, 15 minutes, but I was like, I just want to play Doctor Strange and turn everyone into boxes. And in the second game, it was the same thing for Songbird. I tried some other characters, but nothing felt right. I did try Electro at one point. I was like, this sucks. I don't like this. So it's a different time, different game, different developer. And I definitely am more excited in this game to give everyone a shot since you have to unlock them all and it's a process. But... I guess I'm not too hurt by it because I don't have great memories of playing as Electro. Though she makes for some really funny story points because she's in every single cutscene.
Yes.
For some reason.
Yeah, I don't want to give out the illusion that I'm like a hater on Electra, but I just feel like compared to some of the people on these roster, I don't know. I don't want to bland it out with a lot of normies.
Oh, blanded.
It's Infinity War, man. I want some God mode characters.
Let's see. What was the other one here? Punisher, same thing. I think there's a chance. I'm going to Punisher shirt right now. I'm a fan of him. I liked his move set, but I don't. Well, actually, no. Was he not? He wasn't in the first one, was he? No, I was confusing him with Blade. I think it has a similar moveset, but no, I think it's the same thing. I don't think he'll be in this one.
Does he use anything other than guns? Or is he just a gun
grenades?
His grenades and guns
his
and
van.
fists.
His head sometimes.
His van.
Headbutt people.
Yeah.
He screams.
That's his super move. He just pulls in his van.
The battle van, dude. It's called the battle van.
I apologize.
I desperately want.
I haven't finished Punisher.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I'm excited by the fact that it's called the battle van, and I'm not upset that you didn't know that.
I didn't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's a no on Punisher then.
I think so, unfortunately.
So these are two, and this is why we could get more wins on here when we talk about Ant-Man and Vision for maybe our roster predictability will go up. We're at 20 out of 30. But I'm going to lump them together, Loki and Thanos. Because I've said this for a while offcast. I think if Thanos is not in this game as a playable character, it's a huge missed opportunity. Yeah. Because if you look at it, I didn't like him, but Nano Nick Fury was the last villain in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2.
Spoiler.
Once you beat him, you could play as him. And same thing as the first game. He was DLC later on, but still you could play as Doom, who was the main villain. So I'm thinking just Thanos. I don't think any of the Black Order people. Maybe they'll add him in there, but I hope not. I like the Black Order enough, but I would rather other heroes or other villains instead of them. And Loki, I think there's a shot. I guess I just don't know how much he is in this game, so I'll have to wait and see. But he's somebody I've been wanting for a while, so I really hope they're in there. So Thanos, I think, will be in there. Loki, to me, is a 50-50.
I think Thanos just has to be in there. He'd make for a really fun moveset, and plus he's just got so much hype on him. Plus, this game only has one villain now so far as a playable roster, and that's Venom. So I think they need a couple more at least.
Who is pretty anti-hero now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. He's not even a full-on villain. So I think he needs to be in there. And then I desperately want Loki as well. He just has so much potential for a moveset.
Yeah.
And he wants, like, obviously they're going to take a different route with the story, but he does, there is some ways that you could make him into the main story for, Thanos getting the stones, because Loki kind of toys around with them.
Yeah, and like Loki was already a popular character, but I feel like just what they've done with him in the MCU, like he's just grown in popularity. Like so many more people love him. So I feel like it'd be a missed opportunity if they don't throw him in there. So I desperately want to see him in there. Along with Thanos, I really want to see him in his armor and that blade that we got in Endgame. Oh, it'd just be sick.
That would be great.
Yeah.
This one, just a fanboy pick, but Moon Knight I don't think is... I don't think he's making it. And we did do this because they were making TV shows at the time, so I thought, Moon Knight might get the Defenders, Daredevil route, but I don't think so. I really want him. We'll maybe talk about that later, but I think that's a no-go.
Unfortunately, no. Very sad.
Oh,
to
and
say.
shit, I miscounted. We actually have 21. I forgot Falcon, so we actually got 21 out of 30 so far.
Let's
so
go.
We're only
go,
9
guys.
off, and there's still stuff. So yeah, I'd say no Moon Knight, Kirk.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite characters from the original game. He's just like I didn't even know much about him. He just was so cool, like aesthetic wise. But yeah, I can't see. I don't know. I just feel like he's been so off the radar these last few years.
He needs a big not even he's never got a film, but he just needs a comeuppance. A viewer asked me this a few days ago. Everyone, if you're a comic book fan or a Moon Knight fan, if you want to know more about him, read it's 2015, 2016 Jeff Larrymore's run. It's Moon Knight, and he's Phil Spector, and he's stuck in a mental institution, and they're really trying to get to him that Moon Knight's not real because he's a superhero with kind of split personality, but what is it? Schizophrenia. So he never knows, is he actually some big Egyptian god reincarnated, or is he just a crazy guy? It's really trippy. It's really crazy, and he has a cool look where he ditched the cape and the hood, and he has a mask, but he's in a really nice white suit, and it sounds lame, but it looks really cool. So I think there's just so much potential with that character, but I think that's going to take a movie or TV show to get him on the mainframe. That's what I really loved about that first game. It took some weird cuts with, like, even having Elektra in there, Blade, things like that. That to me is the most fanboy roster ever.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying this roster so far. But to me, you can see the MCU bent where that was just like, we're gonna put Silver Surfer in here. You're like, okay, cool, And how does he? What's his double jump? He's on his board the entire time. It's like,
of course.
So I guess we didn't. I guess maybe talk about him after. But yeah, I'm gonna say no Moon Knight. I'm also gonna say who we listened on the cast and thought was a sure thing. I'm going to say no Ghost Rider as well, unfortunately, Taylor. There's a chance, but
honestly, I actually could see it. I think Ghost Rider, I mean, he may not have had the best movies, but I think he's like iconic enough outside of like comics. He's interesting. He would make for a definitely a unique moveset, and even just like the style, his look. He's definitely got unique, and he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And he has a TV show coming out next year.
Yeah, so I actually, at first, when I first sat down to make my list, I was like, no, there's no way Ghost Rider's making it in there. What were we thinking 2 years ago? But I think he's actually got a decent shot.
Yeah.
Even it maybe not as a launch character, but I think DLC or something down the line, possible.
Yeah. I think I would agree with the points that you brought up, because before I just kind of wrote him off, but especially since he's coming back
never write
to
off Ghost Rider.
Never write off Ghost Rider.
Last thing you'll ever do.
But especially since he's getting like a new TV show now, like he's kind of coming back in to the sorry, I'm mixing up my words. But when was the last movie?
Oh geez,
was it Spirit of Vengeance?
I think that's about I think it's 2012.
Okay, it's not as
not
old,
ancient.
not the ancient one, but
no.
More recently than the last Ultimate Alliance.
And I will say as well, because in that gameplay, you should watch it. It's on our Facebook, cheap plug. The Game for a video, it's about 7 minutes, and they talked about, it's similar how, remember in 1 and 2 how you could put certain characters together and it would be like the Avengers. Like,
right.
Yeah,
so they have that in this game. And apparently there is one team that they saw. It's called Midnight Suns. And Midnight Suns is Doctor Strange, and it's a bunch of random people like Ghost Rider, like Punisher, like Werewolf by Midnight, which would be sick, like Moon Knight. And
who else in the announced roster?
Iron Fist is the only one.
Strange and Iron Fist.
Yeah, so to me, I feel like it's not just a two-man team. So somebody, I think, has to be in that equation.
Maybe they did say in that video that you can have combinations. So if you have 2 people from one team, 2 people from another, you get... I don't know if you get the full benefit. I doubt you do, but you can have multiple of like team bonuses at a time.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know, maybe there's something there where you can just have the 2 of them, but that would be kind of weird if you had just Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider who made it, or Doctor Strange and Iron Fist who made a team together. It would seem a little random. Like, why would they include that in the game?
Yeah.
Unless there was other characters.
Yeah. So there's a chance. Midnight Suns. So anything else on those guys?
Those are all the characters that were on our list.
Everything we have, yeah.
Okay, I have a next good jumping point here. There's few characters who were in both the first two games but are not in this one.
Okay,
so let's talk about those. One is, of course, the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't think, obviously,
They're not very popular right now.
I don't even know if we've said it on this cast. We're going to do somewhere in this cast, probably more near the end, we're going to do our top 10, what we'd like in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And minor spoiler, Doom is on that for me. But I don't think we see anything Fantastic Four-centric, Silver Surfer. I think they're on the back burner.
I could see that being a fun like DLC pack, kind of how we suggested in our Dreamcast, but I just don't know if it's happening right now.
Or that's the huge Nintendo Direct reveal is all the members of Fantastic Four, to be honest. Because I feel like that's you don't reveal one.
Actually, yeah.
You don't reveal one. You got to reveal them all at the same time. So I would
like maybe they could do something where they talk about those team bonuses you can get, and then boom, cut to that.
The reason I'm going to
the ultimate team
marketing.
Bonus.
Let's go.
The reason I'm still going to say no is because clearly things can change between now and release, but if the cover of the game stays, there's not a single member of the Fantastic Four. So I think there are maybe some people.
The cover is sick, by the way.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about X-Men. Wolverine is the main guy on there. It's so strange. It's like Feige and them really knew they were getting Wolverine, but I think any characters. I honestly don't think there's many characters left that we haven't got. I could see that are not DLC. I could see a reveal of.
I think the Direct is the last time we get announcements.
Yeah.
I guess that leaves it open. Is there going to be any characters they don't announce before the game comes out?
Yeah.
I think they might leave a couple oddballs in there. Like that's where I could see Ghost Rider being one they don't announce, but then he's just like in the game. I feel like he could maybe fit that
just
kind of slot.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't need to be on the cover, and that's where Ant-Man they could say, oh, he's on the cover, he's just small. So I think we'll get maybe 2-3 characters max left to announce. So I don't think Fantastic Four will be. Maybe DLC down the line, that's a big one, but I don't think they're coming.
The only other character in the base game rosters that doesn't make it in is Iceman.
Wow.
Kind of a weird pick. He makes sense, right? Like he's very unique. No other characters quite like him. But what do you guys think? In 2019, are we getting Iceman?
Not now. I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4 is a big thing. Because they also in the comics
X-Men.
they've made that character gay now, so I think that'll be a big diversity play in the future. So I could see if we get a fourth one, he's in there, or if we ever get, I don't think it's going to happen. But how these games started actually were these used to be X-Men games. It was X-Men's Legends and X-Men Apocalypse. So it was X-Men, then they did Marvel Alliance. Will they do that again? Probably not, but you never know. So no, I don't think if there's a Nintendo Direct reveal, it's not going to be Bobby skating down on his ice. But I wouldn't mind. I like the look of him. Cool powers. He'd be something different.
He is. Yeah, and there's no one else like him.
Yeah, no.
It is a pain when him and Silver Surfer are side by side. Certain costumes, they look pretty identical when the light hits.
Hopefully,
them,
those next gen graphics will fix that issue.
Yeah,
and I kind of feel like him and Human Torch they were kind of in the same niche, even though they're opposites, but they kind of played similarly enough. And if you don't have Human Torch, then who knows? Maybe you throw Iceman as there as a little. And they could even give him a Frozone skin, under the Disney fam.
The crossover.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Iceman, unfortunately.
And then there was two more who were either exclusives or were DLC, and that is Blade and Cyclops. What do you guys think of them?
Cyclops, not a chance. Even though he has some cool powers, because after that we'll talk. I wanted to talk about the X-Men. Blade, I would love, because Blade actually is low-key a really fun character in the first game. He just has like random like vampire grenades that just send out poison. He has guns. He has his like samurai ninja sword. I think he also has throwing stars. So he just has a bunch.
He's got it all.
Yeah, he has a bunch of cool effects. So I would love Blade. I'm ready for a Blade comeback. We did the retro last year. Dylan loved those movies.
Love those movies.
But yeah, I would love the character to come back. So is it going to happen? I honestly would give him a lot higher chances than a lot of other people. I'd give him higher chances than Punisher, than Ghost Rider. I think next to Ant-Man, he might be up there.
I don't know if I'd put him above Ghost Rider, but above Punisher, I could see that.
I could see same level as Ant-Man then, as Ghost Rider, because Blade was very popular when that movie was around. Right. So I think people still know that character.
Oh, for sure. He definitely has his cult following, I feel.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Blade, especially. It was funny enough when we played Ultimate Alliance, the first one. That's when I found out he was a Marvel character. I thought Blade would like. I'd seen all those movies, but I thought they were just like I thought they were just like a random movie. I don't know.
Doesn't feel very superhero movie. That's for sure.
No, yeah, especially when you watch those movies. It's like Kevin Feige. But no, I would really want to see him in there, and I do agree with you. I think he definitely has a higher chance than some of these other people that we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a higher chance than Bobby.
Poor Bobby.
I want to talk about the X-Men now because now we can start talking about the roster we actually have. I am surprised that they're in here just because just the way everything is, and I'm very surprised by the roster. Two don't surprise me with Wolverine, Storm, cool power set, unique.
Very
Wolverine
unique, yeah.
is the guy, right? And clearly he's the guy. He's the cover
of
the game. Like, and I will say, great job because every game he's had similar costumes, but he has the full on. I was watching it just today. Full on yellow blue 90s anime costume, big shoulder blades blue. Like that's the prime costume. That's the Feige costume he's gonna get. I cannot wait to see that on the big screen. But so it surprised me that they're in there, but I even Deadpool surprised me to a lesser extent because he's been in the other ones and he's just a popular character. Nightcrawler is a very strange pick for me.
He is, and I'm trying to find right now.
He was in the first game.
He was in the first game as a remaster edition.
Yeah,
and
so
not in the second game. I don't think.
I don't think it's that surprising for me personally because he has a fun, cool.
He's unique. He looks.
He has a cool skill set with his bamfs, and I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people just like that aesthetic of that character.
That's where it surprised me though, where we have them, and I guess it's just because he's in a lot of the movies. But then you have someone like Nick Fury, where to me is not that unique. And to me, it was always once you had Black Widow, you didn't need Nick Fury, or vice versa. I think they will play differently, but they're just they're spies, right? So to me, it was just a strange pick. You guys make points about his look and things like that, but I thought that's where you get a Cyclops, or that's where you get another female one, a Rogue.
I'm excited for him. I think he will have a really fun moveset.
Oh yeah, to bamf around again.
But yeah, he definitely. It is a very strange pick. Like, it's kind of funny, but like that is possibly the strangest pick. Other than we're going to talk about one.
There's one in particular I'm not a fan of.
But he's definitely an oddball pick. Deadpool just makes perfect sense, and then Wolverine and Storm were they've been in both the games. Very big characters, so I think they all.
So that's all the X-Men that they've announced.
Just those four, yeah.
I'm kind of surprised not to see Colossus in there. I just feel like he's always kind of been around. He was in the I don't know if he's in the second one. He was a console exclusive for the first game, and then I don't think he was in the second game. I'll double check.
I don't know. He wasn't.
He's always been kind of around with the X-Men, and then obviously in Deadpool as well. Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like people they know what that character looks like. So
he's another big guy too. Yeah, another guy that I love playing with. In the second one, they had Juggernaut on there very randomly, but man, is he fun to play with. So I think there's a chance we could get one more, but I also would not be surprised if there's no more at all. I feel like they put those four in there. They put popular ones. Even to me, Nightcrawler, I think he's popular in the fan community, but it's still surprising to me over other people. But
what about Jean Grey?
Jean Grey as Phoenix was very fun to play with in the second game, so I could have seen them putting her in there as the Phoenix, but not
especially
Jean Grey.
I don't know, Dark Phoenix coming out.
Oh yeah. So. Who knows? They're like, oh, screw that movie. We don't need to promote it.
And that movie probably had an announce date when they were making the roster for this game. That's how many times
that movie was supposed to be out.
Supposed to be out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, people will have their Dark Phoenix fixed. They don't need it in our game.
Yeah. So I honestly don't think we're gonna get any more X-Men. I think they picked four popular ones.
What about Beast? Does he have a shot?
No. I think they put in other people like a Colossus before,
or even like a Sabretooth. I guess he's an X-Men. Never mind.
I love Sabretooth. He had great claw attack in the first
claws.
Game. He just, I'm very excited for Wolverine.
How about Magneto?
No, unfortunately.
Charles in the wheelchair.
I thought about that today. Yeah,
that'd be fun. He hasn't been in any of the games.
His hit attack is just like throwing.
He's a character. Is he a character in the games? Like, he's not playable, I know.
I think in the first one, you maybe stop there to say hi to him and maybe hide out or something and,
use Cerebrum or something.
Yeah. I want to get it out of the way because now I have a list of the characters that we've never had in any games before added, and they're on the roster. Crystal from Inhumans. I'm not a fan of this. I think Crystal's in there just because she's tied to Lockjaw and the Inhumans. I'm not an Inhumans fan. She looks like she has some cool powers. I don't know much about her because, once again, the stuff I've read, not a fan of. They put out a terrible TV show. I think they lots of times were just created just because they wanted a new X-Men. This is a character I will definitely play with last out of everybody. I would want to try first, just because I have no attachment to her whatsoever.
I think it's a strange pick, very very strange pick, but I don't know. I was reading up on her powers, and it's like she just kind of has like elemental. She uses like the 4 elements kind of as her powers, which actually has me kind of excited. I think there's room for a really interesting moveset there. And honestly, there's a chance she might have the Songbird effect.
That's what I'm going to say. If you don't know, Dylan just got attached to Songbird in the second one, which is strange. Songbird is just such a minor villain turned hero, and I was just, it was crazy that he attached onto her. So I said that when I saw him,
the moveset is really fun. At the end of the day, it's like, gameplay wise, what do you have fun playing as? I never play as any of the brawlers really, because that's not really my play style, but like Crystal's moveset potentially really fits my playstyle.
I think Dylan's gonna be a big Crystal person.
I'm not even gonna hate on her now, because I think I'm gonna be having fun playing.
Before you broke down her moves, I honestly was like, I was gonna ask you how you thought Nightcrawler was the strangest pick. I feel like this would have been the strangest pick.
That was the one lady
heard about this character.
I was exempting.
Yeah, and I meant the strangest out of I think X-Men, because other than that, I think you're right. There's I'm still honestly surprised that I don't know. I'm just as surprised some of the Defenders are in there. I really am. Maybe not Daredevil, because they have been around, but just that you got Iron Fist in there.
Well, Luke Cage was in the first.
Luke Cage was in the
He
first.
was in both, wasn't he?
No. And then Iron Fist was in the second. So this is the first time they might actually be together. So and it's weird. I haven't seen any pictures or gameplay of Luke Cage yet. So I want to see what he looks like. I want to see his aesthetic, what they're gonna do.
Yeah, that's true.
He was pretty scary looking in the first.
Costumes.
Yeah, scary. Yeah.
He was what, sorry?
He was pretty scary looking in the first game.
He wasn't that well animated. He's a big block boy. But yeah, I think Dylan will really like Crystal, but I will stay away from her.
When you mentioned her moveset, it's pretty interesting. I've never heard of this character. I've never seen it in humans, so I am kind of excited to see Dylan play her. And
I'll explore the moveset for you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate
it. Guardian. So like Dylan said, he called this one. You had Groot and Rocket. They're a combo. You got Drax, you got Star-Lord, you got Gamora. I'm excited for all these, to be honest. I think they're all going to have different playstyles. I have 2 playstyles. I either like the Magneto type, where I love projectiles. I'm not the same as Dylan, who loves healers or magic.
Magic.
Yeah, I like Doom and Magneto, where I can...
Jank. I love Jank.
I like powerful... I like...
Jank is playing as Doctor Strange and only using the box move, which has a 30% chance to turn any enemy into a box. And I just only spam that and just clear rooms do nothing.
Didn't you at one point get that up to like 40, 45?
I got it to around the 40s, I want to say, which is pretty busted, because if an enemy has tons of health, it turns them into a 3-hit kill box.
So that
is Jank, my friend.
My 2 types are the powerful... and projectile. So like I said,
hope Doctor Strange does a box move.
A Hawkeye, a Doctor Doom, where I can throw the fist, but I can also throw just a Thunderbolt of Green Lightning. But then my other play is a brawler. I have high expectations on Drax. I want him to be a favorite of mine. I feel if he's not, I'll be disappointed. But I need him to deliver.
You already mentioned like Sabretooth and how he just had like the wild scrap. I feel like Drax with his 2 daggers or whatever, just going in. Yeah.
I'm really excited for all of them as well. Gamora, I don't like the costume they picked for her.
Not at all.
And it's kind of weird. Like most of these characters, they took their MCU look.
Not her.
Gamora, not the case. They gave her some weird...
It's what she looks like in the comics.
Okay, well, there you go.
But it's weird that the rest of them look very similar to the MCU, so I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, so that's why I'm really pulling for costumes, for Gamora especially, because I really like that character, but I just don't... I don't know, maybe I'll like it when I'm actually playing the game, and I'll definitely give her a shot still, but yeah, I don't love her costume.
Yeah. What have we seen? Like what her moveset's kind of like?
No.
Yeah. No, we have seen her briefly.
Have we?
Yeah, she's very much like Black Widow style, like assassin. I didn't. I mean, from the gameplay I've seen, I didn't see any projectiles in the movies. She's always like shooting. Various guns. So I'm not sure if she has any of those. She might just be kind of a more brawler assassin, kind of like Elektra almost. Really, she's very flexible in the game. It looks like, whereas in the movies she's a little more rigid. But I don't know. We'll see.
Cool.
And I'm excited for Peter Quill as well. I think
me too. I feel like I'll definitely put some time into Peter Quill. I don't know. Like even just from the movies, he has interesting gadgets.
Yeah, it seems like in the game, from what I've seen, they've really shown off, like, because when he's flying around, he's always like upside down in weird ways, or just, I don't know, he just looks kind of goofy when he's doing it. And in the game, it seems like it reflects that really well. So that's what I like.
Obviously, you guys don't know much about her, but yeah, Miss Marvel is in this game. Kamala Khan. My prediction is I think she's just kind of filling a similar role of Mr. Fantastic, because he's a stretchy guy. He can do lots of cool stuff. I think she's going to have that. The costume looks good. I'm excited to try her out. I've never been a Mr. Fantastic fan. Dylan was kind of popping off on the 24-hour stream a little bit, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ball move that you just go into a donut.
So I think Kamala could be a favorite. I think she's I think she's somebody for me that I could really like. I just have to see how she plays, to be honest. So I'm keeping an eye on her, but she's not in my top 5 yet. I need to see this.
I really like her costume. I don't really know much about her other than what Travis just kind of said. I'm excited to try her out or at least see her in game.
I'm excited to see her.
Let's see. Wasp. We kind of talked about this already with Ant-Man, but Wasp excites me just as much.
Yeah.
They have said that there will be power moves or whatnot. You could get small and do stuff. I think they'll be for limited times, but she can also fly.
And
I'm
blasters,
excited.
She's a very skilled fighter. I think she's gonna have a really fun moveset, like a really diverse. Like most characters kind of fit into some sort of archetype, but I feel like she'll be a hybrid, and I think that's gonna be.
She'll be
exciting.
like Blade, what I was talking about, you know, where he just has a bunch of different moves.
A little bit of everything. Yeah.
I'm really excited.
She's gonna throw like giant salt shakers at people. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh boy, Falcon making his first time appearance. I'm feeling the Falcon hype because Endgame.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know how exciting he's gonna be if flying takes away a lot of your mana, because I feel a lot of his attacks would be in air. But
I wonder if he needs like an active flight, like a character like a Storm or Doctor Strange, or if he has more of like a glide where you do like a jump, double jump, and then you kind of just like float around for a bit. I don't know. I wonder how that'll work. I didn't hear that when I was watching that gameplay. So now I'm super curious how this like mana draining flight thing is going to work, because that could be a real hamper on these. But I don't know. I guess I'm not too worried, because obviously they've done a bunch of play testing, and if it's like it wasn't fun, then they would just take it out. So clearly it's not like instantly draining your mana. Yeah, you would hope. It's true. There's a lot of characters that fly. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Falcon, I love him, or I've grown to love him more in the movies, but it's just I can't really see myself playing that character. I'm
gonna try him just because I'm curious. I'm curious to see what his moves are.
It'd be fun if he had like a bunch of little mechs and stuff that kind of fly around. He shoots out his whatever that thing is in the movie that goes around
drone
shooting
sort of thing.
Yeah, like, that would be cool if he was kind of like a summoner, quote unquote.
I feel he could
the necromancer Falcon.
I feel he could be similar to what we were thinking Winter Soldier could play with, lots of guns, lots of kind of.
Sure.
I feel like too, like if he's doing melee combat, he could throw his wings in. I don't know if he does that in the movies, but like I don't know, get a whip in there.
He did it in game, so you know he can. I'm interested, but I could definitely see him not being someone I love playing with. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Who else is? Someone Dylan's probably very excited for. Scarlet Witch making her debut.
Yeah, she looks
very
really fun
too,
in the gameplay videos. She's got the classic Scarlet Witch look with the like helmet thing and everything. She's just fits my archetype of like the Doctor Strange, the Songbird. So a character that I really like in the movies, really like the look of, and fits the archetype. So yeah, she's probably my most anticipated, honestly, just because she hasn't seen the light of day before, and I'm really excited to play her. And she's like a healer as well, so I'm always down to play a support character like that. So
yeah,
I'm excited to check her out.
I wasn't actually there when you guys played Ultimate Alliance 2, but I remember when you were talking about Songbird, I thought they were the same character. I thought Songbird was Scarlet Witch. So
I really talked her up, didn't I?
You did. So and then when I found that out, obviously, and then I knew how much you like Scarlet Witch, so those characters kind of go hand in hand. I'm excited to see her.
I feel like her and Doctor Strange will be my most played characters.
Yeah. Have they said if she's more of like a support character?
Well, they said she has a heal.
Okay, so
that's all that was said in that. That was in that like 7-minute gameplay video. They just said she has a heal. I don't know what kind of heal it is, but I figure she's more of like a crowd control. Maybe it has some like stuns or slows, and then kind of heals.
She's such a powerful character that like they could really make her they can make her a damage dealer.
True.
They can make her a crowd control. Make her a healer. So I am interested to see what her final skill set's like.
Plus, first time making it in Ultimate Alliance, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and she's a great costume. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like her old school one with the helmet.
And I guess even though she's Avenger, technically she counts as X-Men too. So you got 5 in there.
Oh yeah,
technically.
That's cool.
And then finally, we kind of talked about them a little bit, but Miles Morales, Spider, Gwen making their debuts here.
There's a couple gameplay videos that just released. I think it was on IGN the last couple days. They're doing like every day. They're doing
Game Informer.
Yeah. Every day they're doing just a highlight, like a 1-minute reel of each character. So they did those 2 Spider characters, and they look really fun.
Yeah.
Spider Gwen had they both of them just. It's really a reflection of how they have unique movesets, and then Spider Gwen has like this move. She makes like a essentially a giant ball, like
That's
a wrecking ball out of web, and
and
spins it around and throws it.
Yeah.
Which looks sweet.
Yes,
Very cool.
I'm super biased for anything Spider-Man related, so these are probably going to be one of my most played characters, if not all of them. I'm excited
so
to tackle
good.
them all.
I was a little worried when there's 3 spider people in there, but once I saw the gameplay videos, it makes me no longer worried because Miles has a lot of venom strikes and a lot of electricity-based attacks.
And he has invisibility as well.
Yeah, so he's very different. Spider-Gwen, which I've said because the name of my daughter, I get dibs on when we unlock that character when we play this game because I'm very excited. Don't talk about that snowball move. When I saw it, I was like, oh man, she looked... For a
and
spider
she can
person,
teleport as well.
Yeah, for a
She's
spider
sweet.
person, she kind of looked a little OP. So
She does.
I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, and I love that. That's one of my. I know it's newer, and I'm a Pink fan, but that costume is one of my favorite costumes in comic books. It just looks so sleek, so cool. So
that hood is so. Oh,
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see too if all these characters. Because they're saying halfway, probably about 30 minutes in the game, you unlock a lot of characters. And I'm wondering if there are story reasons or it's just all these characters are around in New York or something like that. And it's just
I hope it's story reasons.
Because I am wondering how do you get Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, and Peter Parker all
assuming
together?
some multiverse.
So if there's some multiverse stuff, you never know.
Why not?
Yeah.
Toy around with it.
I'll shout out, now these just returning people, if you want to say anything on these, but I'll just shout out the Avengers. You got Cap back, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Hulk, and Hawkeye. Any shout outs there? Anyone you're looking forward to? Anything to say?
I was a little scared because Hawkeye was only announced a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I was thinking,
Nitty-gritty.
why haven't they shown this guy off yet? The only thing I don't like is the costume they chose for him. He does not look that cool, but I mean, he offers a unique moveset from any other character, and I just love that we have that classic 6 Avengers.
Yeah.
So I'm happy he made it in.
Yeah. The OGs is definitely where I get like really dependent on the fact that they're gonna have costumes. Because if they don't have costumes and they have all these OGs, like Hawkeye, like his OG costume where he's like purple.
Oh yeah,
is that his OG one?
Yeah, like with when he has like those wings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's just so gorgeous. Whereas if they just have like a basic
He
costume,
looks
that
like
you get stuck with.
a shield agent.
He
in
does.
This one.
He really does. And I think
he has like these cheesy sunglasses on, the bleach blonde hair.
It is more. It's not the exact same as the MCU, but it is the idea of just has mask off and like a leather outfit. They do have that in the newer comics too, and even the animated show. To me, it's been something for some reason Marvel has been going away from his costume for quite a long time. And I don't know. I don't even get why, because all these fuckers are like Captain America's wearing an American flag on his body. Like, give Hawkeye his mask back. So I'm really disappointed. I hope he plays well, but I'm disappointed in the look at least. So
yeah, but just the characters in general, we've seen them before, obviously, in all of our MCU movies and all the other Ultimate Alliance games. So I don't know. You need those staple characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just the flagship.
And I did forget to put a bullet point by her. We talked about her a bit, but Black Widow is also making her debut in a release like console. She maybe is on some Game Boy, but she's never made it to the console. So I'm hoping
she's always been like an NPC. Like she pushes the story along.
But
it's exciting to be able to play as her.
I'm really excited to see it like a next gen Black Widow, because her in the first game. Ooh, you think Luke Cage looks blocky. Her hair is blocky.
I hope they make her play really fun, because she's been someone that's been gone for a while, or not gone for, just never been included in the party. So.
Yeah, another flexible character like Gamora. You said so.
The two that honestly, I look forward to all those people, to be honest. Hawkeye, Black Widow, Hulk. I love. Every once in a while, you just feel like playing a big dude. Hulk is the best big dude. Not all the time, but just like I want to play as him. Thor, if he can. I love him in the first game, but I'm not a fan of him in the second game. So he's somebody that can go either way for me. I'm not sure how they're going to do that.
I think a big thing for me with Thor is what costume it is. We've seen him already, but there's one costume of his that I fucking just hate.
Yeah, you guys are a big hater of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance one.
You guys?
So. Well, maybe not you, but him. I think him and
Bray.
I think I was playing as him, feeling that Thor Ragnarok.
And I loved it.
Okay. But I'm excited because Thor. He's one of those characters that I was talking about earlier, similar to Doctor Doom. He is a powerful character, but has projectiles. I like characters that can do big power moves, that can disperse and push people away, but I can throw that hammer at any moment. I hope he plays a lot like the first one, because the first one, you could literally create tornadoes with your hammer and pick up opponents. He was one of my favorite people to play with, and the second one, they made him almost more of a big, big blocky guy, more just power, and not just power as far as might, but no powerful moves and specials. So I'm hoping Iron Man and Cap. Iron Man is in both games, always been really OP. They give him tons of cool movesets, so I'm excited for that. And Cap, he's one of my favorites.
He looks really fun from the gameplay we've seen.
Yeah, like honestly, we're not going to talk about him again because we're talking about him in X-Men, but Wolverine or Cap are two of my favorite people because I am a big brawler guy, and they usually have, and Cap has projectiles too, so I like that. I like projectiles. Because to me, I'm somebody that I always run in the fight. I'm taking everyone on, and they'll go down in health real low. So I like to have something in my back pocket that I can go back and just throw while Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch heals me, and then I can get back in the fight. So Cap and Wolverine, I got high expectations for them because they're kind of my two brawler go-tos, and Cap's my favorite in the MCU, and Wolverine's my favorite Marvel character.
I mean,
of all
those
time,
characters are definitely going to get a big focus, right? They have to be fun.
So. And those characters, Iron Man and Cap, they're our thumbnail. If you haven't noticed, they look identical to the MCU, especially Cap. They didn't give him the wings. He has the full-on Chris Evans suit. So it's funny what they've chose to do identical, and then you have Gamora where not identical. So Spider-Man.
What?
Spider-Man? I'm just shouting out characters that we haven't talked about yet.
All-time favorite Marvel character.
He's a classic.
Of all time.
He's always been fun.
I love his quips too. Like especially from Spider-Gwen and Miles. Like I'm assuming they'll have their own little quips, but nothing beats Peter. Come on now.
We've been seeing, and I know this is kind of in recent movies, but we've been seeing a lot of the Iron Spider. Do you think? I mean, he was a skin before, but do you think it'll be in the moveset at all? Considering that they have two other Spider people.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
I feel like it'll be OG. I really want to see like the suit, especially since Travis got me all interested in like the original Iron suit.
I
looked into it. Actually, I do like it more than the movie one.
It's so much better. In my opinion.
So I think if they do an Iron Spider, I think they should have that one, not the MCU one.
Right. Obviously, Dylan, you talk about Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel. I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
She has a big movie right now. She's a big character. She has the short hair in this game too, which is exciting. And she in the second game, she's Miss Marvel. But I remember when we played that for the first time, we all kind of fought over because they made her very similar to Iron Man. She has some in that game, she's very strong. Powerful. Yeah. And I think she's going to be really strong in this game too. I love that literally when she's moving around, she's not walking, she's floating the entire time. So that's
not draining mana.
Yeah, not draining. So
that's broken.
That shows you everything you need to know right there. So I think she's going to be really fun to play with. And I hope so.
I hope she's going to be one of my favorites. Like I have really high expectations going into it. Just the look alone. Like when I saw that little shot of her with the short hair, I'm like, this game's perfect, man.
Yeah, I'm glad they picked that style.
Yeah.
Defenders. Anyone want to talk about any of the Defenders?
I'm really happy that Daredevil's in there.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
he needed to be. He's been in both games. He was an OG one. Yeah. You know,
I don't really care about Luke Cage. Just moveset wise, he does not fit my playstyle at all. But I'm pretty excited to try out Iron Fist. He's just such a fun switch up of like the kind of hack and slash sort of character. Yeah. I'm excited to see what kind of like powers they give him or what kind of power moves. I don't know. I think he'll be pretty fun.
A lot of punches, I think.
We have seen him. He is the classic green and yellow suit, right?
Yeah.
So that makes me happy as well. If they gave him like Danny Rand from the TV show, I would have been pretty salty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one I'm really excited for is Daredevil. No shots at the other people, but they just don't interest me as much.
We didn't talk about her earlier, actually, but Jessica Jones, obviously one of the 4 like main characters in the TV show. She hasn't been in any of the games before. She's not announced. Like, do you think she has any chance?
No.
Because I think Jessica Jones, because her superhero alias is Jewel, and then she becomes Jones. Jones' character's just not suit for action games. She's a private eye.
Yeah, she's more like one punch and then takes a break.
I feel like she's the most normie of the normies.
Yeah, and
she just wears jeans all the time.
I don't think there would be much fun moves to do with her. She's just kind of Luke Cage light. So
unfortunately, I agree. It's sad to see the other 3 that have had the show and not her, especially when that first season was such a great show that made me really love the character.
Is the Punisher a defender? Or am I just...
No.
Okay.
He's kind of... He never talked to anyone but Daredevil, but he's just off the side. He's too crazy to be on the team, but...
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, Daredevil I am excited for. I've always been a fan of him in the games. The first and second one, he plays very differently. The first one, he is a big brawler. The second one, he is a brawler, but he's more versatile. He's more flippy. I would prefer the second play style, even though the first game I liked his projectiles, and he can throw that cane around and stuff like that. So I hope he plays well, because I feel he should be very... I like the versatile. I like the flexible Daredevil, so I hope that happens. Yeah. So I want to play as him and really like him. I don't want to play as him he just can die really
I don't
easily.
think he'll be my kind of character, but I hope one of you really enjoy him and I can see him on screen destroying baddies.
Yeah, since I'm a super Spider-Man fan, they have some good crossovers between him and Spider-Man.
Right.
So I would love to see a Daredevil on my team.
We forgot to talk about Spider-Man. Venom. Venom is, like we said, the only villain. But I'm excited.
I think he fits from like a total roster point of view because I mean you don't have Thing this time. You don't have Colossus as you mentioned. So really the only other like big like I guess heavy as Kirkman called it is Hulk at this point. So I think from that perspective, he fits to diversify the roster. Plus, he's the only like he's like kind of half villain at this point, but he fits in there. I'm glad he's in there. It does seem like a kind of a I don't know. It's not really a strange pick. He was in both the other games, right? He was in the second one as well. He was somewhere either in base roster or.
I know he was in the first, second one. Let's see here.
Was he?
He was in the second one. Yeah,
was he in the first that release?
No, he was a DLC later on.
That's
so
what I thought.
Yeah, he's been fun both times. I always remember my complaint with Venom is he dies really easy.
Surprisingly, right?
For a heavy, or yeah.
Yeah. So I've always loved the idea of Venom being in there, but he's actually never been one of my favorites. So I'd like that to change.
For Saris's sake, I hope he's in there because that was his favorite character to play.
Yeah, I love having Saris on my team because Venom is easily my favorite Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got to be in there just because he's probably the most popular Spider-Man villain. I feel like if you know Spider-Man, like everyone just knows Venom.
It's true.
And I do agree with you. Like he's a character that I really want to play, but his skill set's just not quite me.
Yeah.
So I kind of hope they tweak it a little bit to make it more of a hybrid, not just full on tanky guy that dies really
fast. He has that one good move in the first game though, where he just goes crazy and he can like
the tendrils.
Yeah. That's great. So I'd like to see more stuff like that instead of leave his just regular attacks.
I remember he had really
heavy.
funny like skill names just generally.
Oh yeah.
I mean a lot of them are like Ghost Riders are just resilient bullets and stupid shit like that.
Even they've doubled down that for fun this time though. Like one of Gwen's moves is called like a catchy move or something like that. So they're having some fun again. With
I'm
that,
excited just to read those.
So I'd like Venom's attacks to be he can be heavy when he's attacking, but his special moves I would like to be more like that tendril, like more special. Like absorbing moves, you know, not like picking up the thing used to be able to like hit the ground and pick up a block. Like I don't want that from Venom. I know he could do that, but I want something more unique to that character.
Well, especially since he is kind of a heavy character that should be absorbing a lot of or more damage than like the squishies, right? I kind of hope that he has like an absorb ability so he can kind of heal himself at the same time doing damage because I don't know, I feel like that kind of fits that character too. So I hope to see something like that where I don't know, it's just a little more versatile to play with.
And then we kind of talked about Nick Fury. I don't know if anyone has anything to add. I got nothing to add on Fury.
Not so much.
No. And then finally T'Challa, Wakanda Forever, you know.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I am excited, but he's the same one as Daredevil to a much bigger extent for me in the first one. Second one, he plays very differently. The second one, he's tanky in a way he shouldn't be. He feels very slow. I was not a fan of the way he played. In the first one, I liked the way he played, but he died very easily, but that kind of makes sense. So, and that's, I think it's just certain cautions I used weren't good for the health. So,
have they specified what his skill set is? Because I'm kind of hoping that they'd have something similar to what he has in the MCU, how his ability is kind of like absorb and then like translate it out. Because I feel like I would love that character. Like
that would be really unique as well.
Yeah, I
don't think I've seen any gameplay of him yet, so I don't really have much of a say. I feel like he's gonna look really.
I don't think because I'm looking for Venom. At least there was even an image of him because he was in the trailer. There's not even an image yet of Black Panther in this game. So yeah, I am curious, but I would love what you're saying there, the kinetic energy. Almost.
See, that'd be sweet. And then for a skin, I want to get that Killmonger suit. Man, that'd be so good.
That'd be Gold Jaguar.
If they deliver not necessarily the skin, for example, but just like that type of like ability with like the kinetic energy, I could easily see him becoming one of my favorite characters because I really liked his movesets in the first game. I like, especially going back to it. I had seen like Black Panther, so I was kind of like, oh man, he doesn't really feel like what I image him as. And then I never played him the second one, but since you said he's kind of tanky, that's kind of weird. So I do want them to do him properly, but either way, I just love that character.
And to me, that's an easy special attack where it's kind of one of those like you got the health, or you got sometimes where even like Gwen's invisibility, you could do a thing of, let's say, whatever you hit B, and for the next 30 seconds, every attack you get absorbs that, and you can disperse it. That's an easy power to do in the game. So.
And that makes like really fun gameplay twist as well, where you're trying to get hit for a certain amount of time, but not enough that you die. So, I'm really excited for him because he was a really cool character in the first 2 games. But at the time when we were kind of playing those, like Civil War wasn't out, and his movie wasn't out, so I didn't really know much about him. I just thought he looked cool. So now that I actually have some backstory on the character and I like the character itself, I'm pretty excited. And I think of those more like close range brawler kind of characters, him and like Iron Fist, but mostly him are kind of more interest to me.
Yeah.
I feel like if he really is like Black Panther and he's kind of very agility based, jumping around, that's gonna be really fun.
Especially like because he is a brawler, but he also has gadgets and stuff that he uses.
Yeah,
so it'd be cool to see
a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, totally.
It really depends how many skills they give, like how many extra abilities they give to each character, which we haven't really seen a whole lot of yet from the videos I've seen. So
no, but they did say there will be features like that. So.
There has to be, right? If they just had like 4, then I think people would be very disappointed. Like I'd rather you take off 10 characters and make them all more fleshed out than just pad the roster with
all the
more shallow characters.
Get rid of Crystal, get rid of everyone but Daredevil.
I'm down if you have to unlock that stuff. Like I'm really excited because I've only ever played these games from like the cheat codes to unlock everything. Yeah. We don't have those anymore. It's called microtransactions now. So I'm excited to start these games fresh with level 1 characters and unlock everything with them and just see what you get. I'm very excited to have that experience with the game because I've never really had that before.
Yeah, and then the other one you added in there was for Gamora. You put Nebula with a question mark.
Yeah,
I think there's a good chance she's in there.
She's a known villain, and you see her fighting in the battlefield, but not announced as a playable character. I really hope she is playable, because I'm a big fan. It's not. I don't even think she'd have the most unique moveset. I feel like it'd be very similar to Gamora, obviously.
Very, yeah.
But I hope they do it, even if it's like she's like a semi-clone or something of Gamora, where they have like some of the moves that are the same. I'd still I'm down to have that.
Yeah, kind of like what they have in Smash. So it's like different characters with the same.
Yeah, like a character that doesn't take as much of your development time, but you can still kind of put them in there.
Yeah, I agree. I mentioned on the Endgame review, like this character has just grown so much more for me. Like I used to just not even care about this character, but now like I really want to see her in this game as well as like be able to play her, because I feel like she wouldn't be that unique because she would be probably pretty similar to Gamora, but I don't know. I like her aesthetic. I think she just got a funny personality to an extent, and
story wise, I think she'd be great as like an early game villain that you maybe have some like quick fight with.
Yeah,
and that's maybe how you meet the Guardians or something, and then she become playable later.
That'd be sweet. Yeah,
even if it's like late in the game, it'd still be story wise. I think it'd be pretty fitting.
I agree.
Anything more on the game or the top 10 lists?
Well, I want to go through the announced villains and see if you think any of these are going to be playable as well. So the known villains are Ultron, Green Goblin, Sandman, Kingpin, the Sentinels, Ronan the Accuser, Ultimo, I don't know who that is, Nebula, Surtur, I don't know how you pronounce
Surtur, the fire demon or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. And then obviously Thanos and the Black Order. So of those, I mean, Thanos makes the most sense. I hope a couple more of these are playable, but either way, I think it's just so far that's a really good list of villains. Like
I want Green Goblin,
that's gonna
man.
I want tons of Spidey villains, but I think like even if they aren't playable, or even if Thanos is the only one playable, so far that's a pretty good roster of characters to fight against, because there's some really random ones in the first game. I mean, obviously it's a different landscape now, but there's a lot of great characters just announced already, and I'm sure there's going to be a few
surprises. I hope Grey Gargoyle's not in there, because he would just fuck us up.
I hate Grey Gargoyle. That fight took forever. It took us like 2 hours.
It did, but remember then when we just went back and changed teams and got like someone else and we just destroyed him?
Supercharged
like
Tony or whatever it was.
That
was so funny.
I think Ultron could be a playable character, because that's what they've done with these games when you beat villains sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because he's similar to Nanotech Fury, so just the way he plays. Green Goblin, he's been in the game before, so possibly the bones are there to do it. And I would love Green Goblin. Green Goblin's my favorite Spider-Man villain, so I would love to see that. Sandman and Kingpin aren't gonna be in there for like playable. I mean,
what if it's Spider versus Kingpin? Wouldn't that be a twist?
Oh, like his
super block.
Yeah,
I'd actually be super down for that.
I thought there was Ronan. I think there's a chance he could be playable too, because I think they could make him. He's not an exact clone of Thor.
Not a ton of characters have like a big Warhammer type weapon.
Yeah,
so.
I think they could have some fun with them. So other than that, I don't think the rest of them, I think you'll just beat them. But
yeah, fun villains. One thing that this is kind of just random, but this was in that gameplay, that 7-minute gameplay video that was posted a few days ago. There's no grab in this game.
Yeah, I heard
Really?
you can't
Yeah.
throw enemies. Yeah.
which
What about
I think
for,
it's kind of disappointing to me, but also makes me kind of sad because, and I didn't think they'd put this in there anyway. But Doctor Strange has a grab in the first game where you pick up a character, you put them in the air, they
And you
flip upside
spin,
down,
yeah.
you put their head into the ground, and they just spin around. They fly around the room, dealing damage to other things and themselves. It's super janky and glitchy, but it was
It's great.
my favorite thing because I would just pick up the same guy and just like pretty much chain grab him by putting him in the ground.
It gets laughs.
It's so good.
I'll be fine with it being gone if the other things, like there are a lot of powers and
Yeah,
things.
I feel like if they take that mechanic out, they got to replace it with something else.
Yeah, and
So-
I'm worried they won't, just because I'm excited for this game. I'm hoping it's gonna be great. There's just always a part of it that never feels it's gonna be Marvel Ultimate level
Yeah.
1, just because they had so much in that game. It's really crazy when you break it down, from the costumes to that to little things. Like every character had a specific special grab move you could do. You know, Spider-Man, you could web him up. Like, it was crazy what they did. So I hope they put that much care in it, but I was disappointed to hear it was gone.
I am disappointed to hear that. It makes me question though, like maybe they'll give like a certain heavy character like just an ability
like
that
a
he can just
grappler
like
type
Yeah.
character.
yeah.
That could be really cool.
Yeah,
I think
just
that'd be
limit
fun.
it to like certain characters.
Mhm.
Or like
Which,
with the
if they-
Hulker thing, of his grab was you pick up a guy up and just use him as a weapon.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
So
See, like stuff like that. It's just disappointing to hear that they took out the grab mechanic because it was so unique to everyone. But at the same time, like if they replace it with like heavier characters, just I don't know, it's just in their skill set for them to just throw people or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you gotta think that there's a reason they took it out.
I hope
I'm not
so.
sure what it
Yeah.
is. I think one reason
Laziness.
is so you couldn't cheese people by throwing them off the edge, because that was what grabs were a lot used for.
Maybe they
but
saw the Doctor Strange thing. They're like, "What the fuck is this? This
We
isn't
hate
going into our
this."
movie.
Yeah.
that
Or
should
into
have
our game."
inspired them.
yeah.
That grab alone is a playable character. What other point? Do we want to do our lists, or do you have some
I
other?
think I have nothing else. We talked about costumes. I guess I get a yes or no from you, because we never got that. Yes or no costumes are in this game. Costume switches. I'm going no now.
It's
No costumes, eh?
No costumes.
I
I want costumes. I want to be wrong, but just today that epiphany of Miles and
I'm gonna-
Spider-Gwen.
just because I'm being hopeful, I'm going to say yes. I think
I'm gonna
there's
say
costumes.
yes.
Mm.
Very
I
similar
don't think it's
camp.
going to be necessarily for each character.
No.
But even if they don't have it balanced and like a Cap
That's what
has
I was
more
gonna
suits
say, yeah.
than Spider
Like the
Gwen or
OGs
something.
would obviously have the most, but then like Spider-Gwen, maybe
Mhm.
it's just that's who you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you get the hoodless version.
I'm
which is
fine
not
with
what-
that. That'd be cool. I don't need 4. I don't even know if they go, hey, some characters have them, some don't. That's awesome. But I just hope.
I'm 100%.
I'm just
down for
worried
that.
they're gonna go. We don't need to do
Mhm.
any of them. So let's just not make that an option. So I hope it's
hope
not like
so.
DLC or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
I already made the comment earlier, but it's just like if I just feel like I would get so stale playing the same character if they just I don't know, they look the
Yeah.
same. When you switch the costume, they don't get like different ability or like not necessarily different abilities, but just different like health stats
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
mana stats. So
I'd be
I'm
fine
really
if they-
hopeful that they have
Yeah.
skins.
I'd be fine if they add them later, but even if it is like some DLC cost, but I don't want it to be that like it should be cheap. I would think.
Yeah,
I would
I would
really
hope.
really hope so. If it's like $5 a skin, I'll be super pissed.
Ooh.
That'd be lame.
I'd be going back to the first game.
To just return the game.
Yeah.
One character we didn't talk about at all is War Machine. What do you guys think of him? He was a skin in the first game, and second game he wasn't in there at all.
He's a great skin in the first game.
He was
I
a skin
love,
for Iron Man, obviously.
I love the War Machine aesthetic. I'm gonna say
Playable,
no.
non-playable in the story.
He's in the
game at
story.
all?
I'm gonna say no, but I'm gonna say him that I think he could really have DLC potential.
Mhm.
And
Easy kind of character. You base him off Iron Man, change a few
yeah,
things.
and I think when they do DLC, they would keep that similar to the old games, where the old games they were packs, so you bought them in for the villains, the heroes. I think you'd do that. You'd
Right.
get like a new heroes pack of War
Yeah,
Machine,
yeah.
so and so, and a villain. That's where you get Winter Soldier or whatnot.
There's
so,
a lot of ways they could market that.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys said. How it'd be a really easy DLC, and I don't know. I really like the aesthetic. I remember when War Machine first came out in like Iron Man 2 or whatever. I actually hated it. I was so mad. Maybe it was just the movie in general. It just like totally tore my heart.
Mhm.
I don't know,
Wow,
but
tore your heart.
maybe that's an after 9 conversation. But yeah, I really want to see War Machine in there.
Mm-hmm. Top 10s now.
I'm
let's
down.
do it.
I'm
So
down.
now, obviously, we said who knows how many characters are in there, but we made a list of top 10 characters we would want in this game if they were to announce DLC or some that they're hiding. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to go one person list off their top 10 quickly off?
Yeah, I can go through mine first.
Okay,
You guys want to do it that way? So I have some oddballs in here, and I also have some not so oddballs. My first pick has got to be Songbird. I know there's zero chance of this happening, but I just love that character's moveset so much. I'd love to see it. Give it to me, please. I'll pay $10 for that character.
Wow.
Jeez.
Number 2, Punisher. I really, really want Punisher.
Yeah.
I
You want John Bernthal?
Yeah, I want him to just scream, grunt every time he attacks anyone. It's not even that I think he'd have the most unique moveset, because I don't think the potential's necessarily there. I probably wouldn't even play him that much, but I would just love to have him in there. And in that same vein of thought, I actually really want Jessica Jones. I know it seems like a weird pick, but when it comes to rosters like this, I'm a real completionist kind of guy. And for me, if you put her in there, then you can have the perfect 4 defenders on a team.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't say the perfect 4, but from the TV shows that me and Travis in particular have spent a lot of time watching and talking about. So I would love to have her in there from a completionist point of view. I really want to see Shuri. I think she could be a really...
I don't think so. That's a deep cut, I think.
I don't know. She's pretty popular now. Like
But
not
now-
not when they were making the roster,
Yeah.
but at the same time, neither was Miles or Gwen, and they're in there.
I disagree though with those two though.
Okay, well-
because I think from the comic book world, those two are very popular. Shuri,
Okay, yeah,
I think was
that's fair.
just enough, you know.
I just think she would make for a really unique moveset. I kind of feel like it's in the vein of
Those
Wasp.
hand cannon.
Yeah,
shit.
like kind of like Wasp, where she would have range moves. She would have like a bunch of cool close range moves. She'd fit into the story. She'd be like the hacker, get people into buildings and
Yeah.
stuff. But I think she'd be really fun. 2 of my other ones would be Loki and Thanos. I really, really, really hope they're
Yeah.
playable. I feel like this game would feel a little less complete without those two. I think we
agree.
need some villains, and those two make the most sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Loki's moves. I didn't
yeah.
put them in my top 10 because I really actually I guess I did put Loki. This was for my list, but I didn't put Thanos. I want him, but I just think it's just so obvious to me. It's gonna be because we'll stream this game, but then we'll also do a
Yeah.
review for this game. If they don't have them in there, I'm docking them points because that's just. How do you miss that? That's so
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
that's it's right in front of you. So I don't.
And Loki was a villain in
The first one,
in the
big
first
villain.
one,
Yeah.
so he's been bumping around already.
Mhm.
I was gonna make some point on them. Oh, I excluded Ant-Man from my list just because I feel like 100% chance
I
he's
did
gonna be
too.
in there, so I didn't even bother putting him on my list. Okay, what am I on? Number 7. Number 7. Mysterio. Give me Mysterio. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. But he has so much room for a cool moveset, like just so many possibilities. He has one of the coolest looks. He's got the hype riding on him with the new movie coming out. I love Mysterio so much. Put him in there.
He's one of the OG villains
Yeah.
in the first game. You know?
And keep up the Spider-Man hype train. I really want Dr. Octopus in there. Once
Yes.
again, room for a very, very unique moveset. Give me, Olivia Octavia. Give me the original Dr. I don't care. I'll take either one of them. I think they'd make really, really cool moveset, and that'd be really fun to see. I'm going to keep the Spider-Man going. We're going Green Goblin next.
Hey, there
he's
he
been
is.
there before. I think he deserves to be back in there. He's a villain in the game already, so hopefully he's one that you beat and unlock.
Swamp pumpkin bombs again and glide.
Yeah, give
Yes.
me if you don't have skins, if you do have skins, give me Hobgoblin as well.
Oh, yeah.
Or even make him the base character. Wouldn't really make tons of sense because Green Goblin's already in there,
Love
but
Hobgoblin.
I would absolutely love either or both of those characters. And then this last one is very strange and maybe regrettable, but I'm going to pick the Spot, another Spider-Man villain who's just super weird character, but I just think
I am the
he would
Spot.
have a very, very interesting, unique moveset that no other character could really have, and he'd be like just a fun, obscure WTF pick. I don't know. That one I feel less solid on. I'd prefer those other 3 Spider-Man villains if I only got one, but yeah, clearly I have some bias for the Spider-Man villains.
Yeah.
It's mostly because I just want more villains in the game at this point in time.
I agree. I'll go next because my list is actually pretty similar to Dylan's. I'm not
okay.
sure
Okay.
about yours, but what was I going to say? So I did 5 and 5. I did 5 returning and 5 that have never been in the game.
Okay.
So my 5 that are returning, I'm a huge Magneto fan. Magneto is
Yeah.
my boy. He's one of my boys in the first one. I just love all his moveset. He is a guy that once all my powers are gone, I'm screwed. He is not good. Like I have to stand back and just wait. But
Let
his-
the peons go.
yeah, like I don't know if you guys remember, but he almost had this thing where I could just spam X and he just sent like those magnetic shock
Yeah,
waves.
yeah.
He had things where he would just pick up random metals, they just fly.
He was a character that you would think in theory, like, how do you make that kind of character work? But they made him work so well.
Yeah, so I was a big fan of him. him. And then another one that's I think very similar, but I've talked about him enough, is Doom. I loved playing as Doom in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I love one of my favorite moves is just, and it's because it used so little mana. It's just you could summon green thunderbolts or lightning bolts, and I would just do it all the time, and I just got that so high up that I could just spam it and take out anybody. I love the look of Doom. Doom's one of my favorite villains of all time, so I would love to have him back. And he was unlike Magneto, where I could actually go toe to toe sometimes without that. So that Moon Knight, I love Moon Knight. We talked about already the look.
I should have put him on my list.
It's fine, you know. I'll represent him. I love even his double jump is his just like this. He does like a somersault in the air. He has cool powers. The lunar eclipse finisher.
I'm kicking off Jessica Jones. He's going on my list.
He has that like his nunchucks that go together, and it's just like spin. The only thing that sucks about Moon Knight, he did die very quickly. I always remember, but just a great character. And I remember always the announcer when you pick him, just Moon Knight. You know, like he's just and he had those knucks that had spikes on him. He's so cool. So that Carnage is another one. I loved Carnage in the second one. He had this one attack that was similar to the Venom tendril ones, but it wasn't absorbing people. It was just if you got close, he'd go on a ball and he would just keep shooting spikes out of himself. So I could just run over a boss and just spam it. I love that. He had these knife hands that would just go crazy.
Fuck, I wish I played that.
He's so cool. He's very, very cool.
We'll have to play it some night.
Oh yeah, I'm down. He's so fast. He's crawling. That's his running. So he's great. And then my last one. This is one I would honestly, out of all of them, I would pick. This would be the top one. Is Gambit. I loved Gambit. All his moves. He is just the type of brawler I love, where he is the brawler that has a bunch of power moves. His projectiles is the best in the game because literally, it's just at one point, especially if you stat up high, you just do this. His cards just going, and you can just stand back, and they're actually powerful little things. 52 pickup is one of my favorite moves. He'll throw
that's amazing.
He'll throw his deck of cards, and it ends up in a circle around him.
His like ultimate?
No, these are just his regular moves.
Sounds like a broken character.
Because in the second game they didn't have ultimates; they had fusion moves together. Right. But this one, you make a circle of cards around yourself, and anyone in there explodes, and then he just does the classic one where he jumps in the air and slams down his staff. I loved Gambit. He was.
You've convinced me. I want Gambit.
He was one of my favorites to play overall in all games, so I would want him back the most. And here were my 5 that I wanted. Same thing. I had Ant-Man, but I kicked him off. And at first I had Wasp. I didn't even know Wasp was confirmed till we heard about that.
That was the first time it was announced, I think.
Yeah.
They just kind of said it in passing.
It was random. Then I had Ant-Man. I kicked him off same thing because I think he's going to be in there. So I put in She-Hulk because you know what? She's never got any love. I thought she could be fun.
She was an exclusive in the first game. I don't know for what console. Not Game Boy.
Yeah, it was
She could
Game
split
Boy.
the genders, you know? I feel like there's a little sausage fest going on.
Well, yeah,
There's
exactly.
more women than ever in this game, though.
I know, but there could always be more.
There can always be more. So
especially more green women.
I think give her some love. I want to see her.
Is the only one.
I want to see her in the movies. Maybe you could bump into her because she's a lawyer by day. So I don't know. They need She-Hulk's help. I don't know. I had
a lawyer by day.
Yeah.
She could team up with Matt Murdock. That's how you could meet them in a courtroom.
Oh yeah. I had Mysterio as well. This is a 0% chance happening, but I just think his moveset would be.
I wouldn't say 0.
I would say 0
Really?
for this
Not
game.
Not even 5.
For this game.
Not even like 2, 5.
No, I think.
What about as a DLC?
I think if we get a 4.
I think it's more than 0.
Yeah.
What if you get like a Spider-Man DLC pack?
Exclusive. Oh.
They have 3 Spider people?
I think if we get a 4th game, if this is successful, people go buy it. The hype of Far From Home will help.
They'll start making it every year.
I just don't. Oh, I'd love it. Well, who knows actually. But Mysterio, I just think even the way Deadpool and Nightcrawler in the old games could teleport, you could use the same thing, like just a green of puff, like a puff of green smoke. Vision I had in there. We talked about him, but I think I'd be very excited to see him. I just think that he'd have a good move set. I like to fly. I like his look. So, and then my final 2 was Loki. I've already talked about him. I just think he would have an ultimate move set. And then same thing. I had Doc Ock. I talked about that. I talked about that in our first cast we did. I just think him moving around those arms, he'd have lots of cool attacks. I think Doc Ock would be hella fun. I think he'd be a character if done right. Everybody would be fighting over to play with him because I think he'd be the most unique brawler that you could have.
He'd almost be in that heavyweight class just because of like how much size he would take up to be like proper.
I'd love to see his double jump. I'd love to see his finisher.
His double jump.
Yeah.
Just climbs on the roof.
Yeah. So that was my 10. And I also, if they did have costumes, I shout out, I wanted Scarlet Spider / Ben Reilly for Spider-Man because that's my favorite Spider-Man costume rather than the OG. And I also put in X-23 / all new Wolverine for Wolverine. That's
Nice.
Laura. She becomes that.
That'd be sweet.
It'd be a weird skin that turns him into a woman, but I don't think you need to make a full-on character for her. She is a different character, but I
She'd
think
be like a lot more agility, whereas he's more brute.
But I think you could still just
you have other characters like that.
Yeah, I think Iron Man, War Machine, like the first game, you could do the same thing.
Sure.
So that was my list of 10.
All right. Well, I'm glad
Mr.
that you went
Patzer?
next because I clearly the classic Kirkland didn't read the fine print. I thought it was just my top 10 like ultimate. That's what I want, including people that are actually on the roster.
Oh,
So I'm glad I went last. 'Cause I made some tweaks. I'm happy with my
Wait,
new
you thought
list.
it included people who are already in the game?
It was just like my personal top 10 ultimate cast, no matter who it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
it makes sense.
It's kind of
Reading.
really wow,
Reading's different.
interesting.
Don't question me.
I'm not.
But
You're fantastic.
I have pretty similar list to you guys. No particular order. Number one, I had Green Goblin / Hobgoblin.
Oh, that's his
I-
number one. That's who he wants the most.
I could.
Pumpkin
Honestly,
bombs.
it could be. Yeah.
Pumpkin
like,
bombs.
I didn't know that he was in the second game or whatever, but
gotta play it.
I
It's
want
fun.
to look it up because it's just the pumpkin bombs and the glide. Like I don't know. That's definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. You might find a trend going through my list. It's pretty spider
heavy.
spider heavy.
You
but-
are the
but-
friendly neighborhood Kirkland Patzer, so
That is
it
right.
makes sense.
Number two, not a spider character, Gambit.
Nice.
This is before you went on your hype train. I didn't know he was in the second game because I haven't played it. But
I
that
might play
character,
it tonight. I'm hyping myself up.
that character in general, he seems like he has such a unique like skill set, not just in a game, but just like as a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just think like translate that to a more modern day Ultimate Alliance game. I feel like it would just look so cool, especially since you're shouting out his OP skill set. I feel like it'd
52 pickup.
I feel like
baby.
it'd be sweet to play with.
And he's not as good as Deadpool's quip, but they give him that like, "Oh mon chéri, here we go," like his New Orleans accent. Like he's always just saying shit like, "Oh, the card's on in your favor," whenever he
Classic.
kills somebody. I hope the game has tons of quip, and they're also being
Isn't that one of the teams like quippy
yeah,
characters?
yeah, and they're also multiple people said they're being very cagey on the voice actor. So I think from that Miles one, I'm not sure
he
if you guys
sounds
watch it.
dead on.
He sounds like that, but he also sounds similar to the PS4 one. So I'm wondering if they got the same actor for.
Possible.
So I wonder if there's
That'd
going
be
to be some Wolverine, if he's going to be from the 1990s animated show. So the fact that they've said they're not talking about the voice cast, I think there'll be some for fanboys, some notable names in there. So
and the classic just odd person. That's just like Google voice
yeah, oh yeah,
doing
yeah.
Gamora.
yeah.
Yeah, Vision's just like Microsoft Sam or whatever he's called.
Number three, I got Loki on there. Obviously, just following the hype train through what we saw through MCU, and I don't know. I just feel like he'd be so fun to play with.
Oh, yeah.
Number
Voiced by Matt Damon, of course.
Number
yeah.
4, I have Carnage. Absolutely, especially hearing your hype train, just explaining his skill set, what he was like in the second game. I could only imagine what they could do with the third game. It's also just, I don't know. I feel like the symbiotes are just like one of my favorite things about Spider-Man. So like, there's endless amounts of them.
You got Toxin on that list?
I was
Toxin.
thinking about it honestly, but because when you brought up Carnage, I thought of not mentioning it, but I'm like, well, I got to go with like who I really wanted. Originally, it was Venom.
She Venom.
Is it Anti-Venom? Is that
Anti-Venom.
no?
Which
Who am I
one are you
thinking
thinking
of?
of?
Uncle
There's too
Venom.
many.
There's like a white Venom.
Oh,
He's all white.
Oh yeah, I always forget that one's name. And there's also one I really like that's yellow and black, and she has dreads. That's
really
pretty cool.
A
yeah.
Venom?
Yeah, there's.
What is it called?
I don't know.
wanna Google that.
There's so I
Yeah.
can't, there's thousands.
there's-
of
They have an
Venom.
own planet of
Okay,
symbiotes.
maybe I won't Google it right now.
Yeah,
That's
I'll-
a rabbit hole. And a
I'll
half.
find
is.
it. Yeah.
If you ever want to just stay up super late, just start googling into symbiotes.
I think I'll do it tonight.
But all right, number 5, I got Doc Ock.
Yay.
I following going with you.
If you only got one, would you take the classic or the Olivia new?
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think so too. I would want the costume so I could have both, but just because we haven't got him yet, I'd want the classic too.
Yeah, and also, do you want Ultimate Green Goblin or regular Green Goblin?
I would like to have Ultimate Green Goblin as a
Big villain.
like a big villain, but plane wise, he
I
would
don't
not
want
fit on
any
my screen
Ultimate Green
unless
Goblin.
you're
No,
up
no.
there with like Giant Ant-Man or
Yeah,
something.
him and Giant Man.
Giant Man. But
the screen has to zoom out.
yeah, just Doc Ock's another classic Spider-Man villain.
Yep.
It is anti-venom. You're right on white venom.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So
Yeah, I bet you don't have him, man. I wish we could get Prowler from Spider-Verse.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, with that music
I'd be
too.
down.
oh, just you know when you pick a character like we said, Moon Knight, just like
Yeah.
the noise. Yeah. That's a really good pick. It easily could have knocked off a few few of mine on
A
here, but
few,
I'm
huh?
gonna leave them on there. So Doc Ock, number 5, number 6, I got Moon Knight.
Hey.
Just one of my favorite characters from the first one.
Yeah.
I just love. It was probably like a Taylor effect where I just thought he looked really cool, so I just loved him.
His look
Sometimes
is
that's all
half
you
the
need.
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But especially like when I looked into more what this character was, and just like, I don't know, he's a schizophrenic character. You don't see that as like a superhero very often.
He's
so,
pretty unique.
Very unique, and
Mhm.
I just love his look, and just all white, looking fresh,
Very fresh.
never dirty,
Never dirty. Not a speck of
not
dirt.
a speck of
So
dirt.
this is what I was talking about. Her name is Scream.
Oh God, that's
I
terrifying.
had a toy of her as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Loved her. Her hair felt
Yeah.
really cool, like the plastic rubber
Just
they
feeling her
use.
hair.
So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Put
Yeah.
Scream in
Half
there.
No kidding.
Just do Venom, Ultimate Venom Alliance, and just have a bunch of.
Jeez
This one,
Louise.
I kind of was. It's a normie person, I think. I think it could replace someone like Black Widow or someone like
Wow.
Nebula.
Kicking
Yeah.
out Black Widow
Yeah.
too
Like-
soon.
like
too soon.
first- someone like that.
The first game she's in, and
Well,
Kirkland's already.
Me
getting
personally,
it.
I like this character more than Black Widow. This is Black Cat from
I thought about
That's a
that.
great
She
pick.
was
I
almost
forgot about
in
her.
there.
Spider-Man's
Yeah.
kind of
Great pick.
counterpart. It's kind of like her Catwoman to the
It's
Batman.
identical. Her
Yeah,
Catwoman.
so,
They ripped it right off.
Yeah, I love that character.
The sexual girl who burglizes and dresses as a
Burglarizes.
cat. Yeah. Gee, where'd they get that from?
But yeah, I love to see her in there. Obviously, it's not like a big wild character like Carnage, Loki, or Green Goblin or something. It's just like another, I don't know, just flexible.
This is why I want this game to be a massive success, so we could get an X-Men Ultimate Alliance, so we get a Spidey. I'd
Oh.
take an alliance of like all these.
All the
you know?
symbiotes,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Put Scream in
like,
there.
That'd be amazing.
You know,
After Black Cat, I have Magneto.
Yeah.
I never really played him, but just he's one of my favorite X-Men. So I
plus
feel
you
like you gotta throw
want
him in
on the on the team.
Yeah,
I'm good at
exactly.
throwing metal shit. You know,
he's good at just
I'm
spamming buttons.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Number 9, I threw Thanos on there.
Mm.
Just especially since we were talking about it, just got me more amped.
Mhm.
I really want to play as Thanos.
Does Thanos have the gauntlet or not have the gauntlet?
I don't think he would have the gauntlet.
I don't think so either. But
It's
that'd
hard
be,
Snap.
to. I mean,
that'd be a
half
cool
your team,
finisher.
half your team just disappears.
they do a lot of things to balance out the power levels of the characters, but I feel like if you gave him all of them, that'd be just kind of a little busted.
What
But
if it
imagine
was
like an
for-
ultimate move where
yeah,
he
that's what I
snaps.
thought. Yeah, and it takes half the guys.
but also
and-
potentially half your team. Like it's just
No.
completely
Oh,
random. Like
no.
it could even take you out.
that would suck.
You have
That'd
to
be
kill
crazy.
Vision to use it.
You have to put him on the team, and someone just has to watch.
He's great
You
out.
can only have a 3-man team.
Yeah.
And then Thanos. This one is, I don't know what you guys are gonna think of this one. I had Korg.
Your 10th one for
Really?
Korg.
My 10th is
Wow.
Korg. I feel like he could be like a heavy character, like replace
Yeah.
the Thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got funny quips in there too. And
I'm not against it.
Yeah, I would love to see him.
I'm
on there.
down for that. I feel like there's your beasts, your Colossus who might get there before
You
him.
could throw in Meek as his
Yeah,
Groot
that
and
would be
Rocket
so
thing.
sick. Okay, you sold me on it.
Yeah.
They're like playing Fortnite.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
but yeah, that's my list.
Good list.
There we go.
Not my first list. It's my refined
A-list.
list.
Well, I'm happy. Anything else we got to talk about right now? I'm happy we got to talk about this before it's out because we got
Mhm.
literally 2 months away. So hopefully we'll see some more. Also, E3's coming up. So if they
Yeah.
reveal something at the direct, we'll talk about it.
They'll definitely have a new trailer, I think.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
launch trailer sort of thing.
Talk
Yeah.
about it on a newscast or something.
Yeah.
I'm just excited. I want to see. I'm so excited to play this.
I really
game.
hope it's a success because
Yeah, I hope it's
I have
good.
pretty high standards just from going from like the first game to this one. If it's a disappointment,
Yeah. This is definitely my most anticipated game this year, and I'm not even gonna be owning it. So I want it to be good. I need it to be good.
if it's really good,
the wait
yeah.
too. We've
I
talked
could-
about this since
The
podcast
way
started.
I look at it is in the first game I had my Strange, and in second game I had Songbird. Like, really, I only stuck to those two characters. So if there's already over 30 characters in this game, if there's one that I find fun, then I'm set.
yeah.
So I know you guys are a bit different. You guys switch around, but
Yeah.
I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not honestly even worried about the characters. I just want just that vibe of Marvel Ultimate
Yeah,
Alliance.
it's true.
I don't want to feel
The teams, the skills.
Yeah, and I don't want them to be like, it's a nice, just only a small campaign. Like I'm not looking for a 40-hour GTA. I just hope it's similar.
Well, they
lengths
also
to the
have
other
these like
ones.
challenge rooms where you can like go back,
Yeah,
I guess,
which
back
both
in
games
previous
have
levels,
had,
and they
yeah.
kind of turns it into like some sort of dungeon. It kind of seems like where you can farm,
Except
to
that's where
level up and get items and stuff.
again where I love the first one. The first one had those simulator discs, but you played missions from actual comic book stories. So they
Mm.
took a storyline
That's
and you
cool.
played it out. Yeah, but
I never did those in the first game.
Oh yeah, I've done everything in those games.
Everything.
Yeah. So I'm very excited. We are going to be doing for sure big stream on that, so you
Yes.
can come watch wherever we're figuring out the details, but we're going to have tons of fun. If you like what we did here, head down in the description below. You got all the social media, Podio, video
Podio.
feeds, all the whole shebang. So thank you very much for tuning in. And hear from us next time. It'll not be boring.
Peace.
I didn't say anything.
I can't go that way.
I can't go that way. I hope he says that, but he won't.